Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 272. There is actually quite a bit of stuff to go over tonight. We had the Xbox showcase take place, which feels like that was forever ago, but I mean, it happened the day after the last podcast. So we'll talk about that. We got the Square Enix show, which had a lot of interesting stuff with Final Fantasy. Capcom had a showcase, and we'll probably double back because I know there's some questions around Persona. And we'll talk about PlayStation Plus. So there's a lot of stuff happening right now. Let me go around here. We have MVG. MVG, how are we doing tonight?
What's going on? Great to be here.
Good to have MVG here. We have Nate the Hate.
Yes.
Nate's here. We have Miss Click.
Hey.
Good to have Click here. We have RGT85.
I'm actually known as Ghost Sniper right now, and I just did a donation saying never trusting Nate again. Maybe an insider for Nintendo, but you're officially 0 for 3 regarding Xbox. No Banjo-Kazooie and more. You and MVG do this for clout.
I said Banjo was unlikely to be there, and people just have to be patient and wait longer. Your hate is at MVG.
Yeah, I said Banjo is going to be there, and by the way, it was not a leak or an insider thing. It's a prediction show. So if you're misconstruing a prediction show with a leak, then that's on you, buddy. Sorry.
And we have Player Essence. OJ,
how's it going, guys?
holding up the pre-show.
Yeah, the pre-show was freaking crazy today. Yeah, it was great, man. Shout out to everybody who came through.
We got Max Dreamcast guy.
Good week to be a Final Fantasy VII fan.
And then we have Evan, who will actually we'll go to Evan for one of the topics that I have lined up here. He'll be one of our leads on that. I got a feeling you'll be ready to talk about some Dragon's Dogma.
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah.
Let's start with the Discord question actually before we jump into our first topic here.
Guess we'll go with the main one. Do we want to do that one that we were talking about earlier? Or?
Yeah, go for it.
Get it out of the
Do
way.
others aside from RGT also think Nintendo focuses too much on Xenoblade and Fire Emblem? And would you prefer seeing Monolith and Intelligent Systems work on other IPs?
Can I preface something?
Do it.
Let me preface something. The reason I brought up Monolith and Intelligent Systems doing other games was to show that they do other games. The whole point of my tweet was, how many Fire Emblem games are there on the Nintendo Switch? How many Xenoblade games are on the Nintendo Switch? What are the next 2 games coming out for the Nintendo Switch that are first-party games? Fire Emblem Warriors and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I wish that there was other games like Star Fox being talked about or showcased. Something like that. That's the whole point of it. But then people just lost their shit. So obviously I fed into it. Because that's what I do. I stir the pot with my scepter from Metroid Dread. These are the things that bring me joy in life. That's all it was.
Like Metroid Dread, you're wrong. So I mean,
I'm not wrong, but I'm not wrong.
And just like it, you're wrong. I think I see what you're saying, Sean. Especially when I watched your video. I think the way that you said it might have been off. That's why people the way that you said, because like it seemed like you were selecting Xenoblade and you were targeting these 2 when there's a bunch of Mario games, there's a bunch of Kirby
No,
games,
it's just because those are the next 2 games coming out.
Yeah, exactly. But it seems like you're targeting them, and because Fire Emblem, it's Fire Emblem Warriors. It's not a new Fire Emblem game. It's it's like the last one was 5 years ago.
Goes into the lore though. A lot of those Warriors.
The last Fire Emblem game was 2019. So the last one was 3 years ago. And then the last Fire Emblem Warriors game was the launch year of the Switch. So it's not like they're like yearly type of things. I think, and that's why I think that you were targeting, those.
But I never said anything like that. I was just saying I would like to see a Star Fox or a Punch Out. That would be cool. It's not that you can't have these. I would like to have other stuff along with these.
Well, 90% of Twitter, have you ever seen that meme where it's like, here's a tweet I made up in my head. I will now blame it on you. A lot of people are mad for things you weren't saying. I definitely saw like, oh, you want them to stop doing Xenoblade and do Mario Kart? It's no, that's not what Sean said.
As long as people are talking, hey, that's good. Yeah, that's good for me.
For me, it's like, I would just like, I guess I would just say, I just want Star Fox, I guess including saying, oh, there's another Xenoblade, or oh, there's like, because like those franchises were almost dead, not too long ago. Yes. They were like almost dead, like literally almost dead. And now that we're getting consistent releases, it seems
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal for people, So I think that's where it also comes from as well, because literally they were almost dead. Like Fire Emblem could have easily been not around right now. So.
I think after Xenoblade 3, I wouldn't mind seeing Monolith Soft just do a new IP.
Same.
They wanted to, but I mean, again, like it's kind of like what they do, you know what I mean? So if it's successful, maybe it's a completely new spin-off on a Xenoblade type, you know, I don't, there's a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
I just think that the main thing that obviously sucks is when people run wild on Twitter, and there are people that actually are blaming Fire Emblem and Xenoblade because, you know, of unfortunately discussion, people are going to go rampant. So I think the biggest thing to come back down to is, yeah, of course we all want these new franchises, but you know, specifically Fire Emblem or Xenoblade, like it's not their fault. They're creating good stuff. It's really good stuff, and if that's not, I almost feel like people are like, it's not what I want, so therefore like you shouldn't get it, and then give me something that I want. It's like, okay, well, it's not your time yet. Hopefully there will be time for other series, but right now, you know, don't get mad that Xenoblade and Fire Emblem are doing well. I'm not saying that's what Sean's saying. I'm just saying I'm seeing a lot of people say that, and then they're tagging me and stuff, and I'm like, bro, I literally don't care. You don't like it, I don't care. I like it. I don't care that you care. Like, whatever.
And the interesting thing about Intelligent Systems, real quick on this one, they actually, the past 3 years, they've made 3 separate games from 2019. So they had Fire Emblem, then they had Paper Mario, then they had Wario, and now they're probably back to Fire Emblem. So Intelligence, that's their 3 that they do. They do those 3 games. They don't really do much outside of that, and they're cash cow because they're not, believe it or not, they're not owned by Nintendo. So it's a collaboration with Nintendo. Nintendo owns the Fire Emblem IP, but they do not own Intelligent Systems. Intelligent Systems has a CEO, they have a president, they have everything as if they're an independent business, yet they just have a very close partnership with Nintendo. So obviously, Intelligent Systems is like, well, what's going to make us money?
Yeah,
well,
I wonder if they lean on Nintendo. They're like, hey, another Fire Emblem would be cool, right? That sure would be a great idea.
Fire Emblem Three Houses was the best-selling Fire Emblem game in less than a year. Yeah, they want that payday. They because Paper Mario isn't that. I mean, it was pretty good, and Wario is cool, but the next Fire Emblem game will probably be their biggest payday that they've ever gotten. So yeah, I feel like obviously I want Star Fox and.
Yeah,
I just want to see what Monolith Soft can do now. Like they've done so much Xenoblade, where they go, "Hey, let's see what you got. You guys want to do something new?" And that new IP. I mean, they're very talented. See, yeah, they have a new IP. I thought that there was rumored they were working on at some point. So, yeah, I think that'd be it. That's the thing. Out of all of like Intelligent Systems is just going to do what Nintendo is like. All right, do this, contract it out. They have obviously monetary incentive on their end. Outside of Nintendo, Monolith Soft's just owned by Nintendo, so Nintendo could say, "Hey, let's do a new IP."
Yeah, I mean, I'd be more concerned with how picky Nintendo is regarding what that new IP would be. You know what I mean?
If they can come up with like a good new intellectual property, like what they did with Splatoon, where during the Wii U they come up with that. I mean, then you have merchandise, you got all kinds of stuff now outside of that with theme parks, and they're looking into doing movies and like you never know. You catch fire, and Monolith Soft could put a game like that together. So
they always do RPGs. That's like all their games that are not RPG, or they don't really make games that aren't RPGs. They have like one disaster. That's like the one game. There's probably more, but from what I mean, everything's like Project Cross Zone, Baten Kaitos. That's a card-based RPG. They did Xenosaga, but people don't know Xenosaga is not owned by Nintendo. Doesn't own Xenosaga. That is Bandai Namco. Bandai Namco like owns Xenosaga, and that's a turn-based RPG. It's just turn-based. It's not, you know. So
hell yeah.
But like they put together that Dragon Ball Z RPG, and it's like that's really good.
Yeah, turn-based RPG. So I mean, I think their next IP will probably be like it'll probably be like a new IP. Their next, like after Xeno 3, they're probably already working on it.
Yeah, but at least conceptual and all that. Yeah, I feel like they're gonna probably after Xeno 3, they'll probably think all right, let's take the main team and let's put them on something brand new that we can maybe set up for the next Switch, like as one of the big titles in the first year.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. We'll see. Do we have another Discord question, Evan, that we should go to before the first topic here?
Which topic we're going into? Actually, we'll just go with this one. When do you think we will see the new Indiana Jones or possibly a new Donkey Kong?
The new Indiana Jones? Ooh,
years
2025
when it comes out. Yeah, probably something like that. But when they show it, I'd like to think we see it next E3, quote unquote. But
he did bring up Donkey Kong. So do you think we'll see that before or after?
I think Nintendo shows Donkey Kong when it's almost ready to go. Like we'll see it and then like, oh, it's out in 6 months or something.
Like Kirby.
So, yeah.
Hey Nate, when's the next Donkey Kong coming?
Yeah, Nate.
Ask Nintendo.
They could, I mean,
I
they could show
am.
it as soon
Don't
as
you
this
work at
year, right?
Nintendo?
Like, couldn't they show it like this fall or something, and then it's out first half of next year?
I mean, if the game was coming out the first half of next year, yes. But if it's not, then no.
I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. Let's move into the Final Fantasy VII showcase. We had the 25th anniversary, which, by the way, that means Final Fantasy VII is now 25 years old, which is absolutely ridiculous because
we're all old except for Clay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm ancient.
I will take that as a compliment. Okay.
It is a compliment.
Yeah.
Dad.
Wait, do we still need Click to play Final Fantasy VII?
No, played it.
Play the remake.
Oh, okay.
I played the original too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're
Nice.
Yeah,
Hell
no, I'm
yeah.
good. Yeah.
You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Okay. So we can talk about what was announced here. Obviously, there was like two big announcements that most people care about. The others, it's like, I mean, fine. Like Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate is going to Steam, and it seems to be optimized for Steam Deck. So pretty cool there. Which, by the way, that is a weird game to see in handheld form.
Yeah.
Very strange. Very weird. First Soldier. I've not played this mobile game. I think Max did.
I have. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's Fortnite Final Fantasy. Exactly. That's what it is. And it's really weird.
Okay. We have Ever Crisis going into closed beta later this year.
Now that's cool.
2022. Android, iOS.
Yeah, and that's going to be everything. That's going to be the entire universe. That's going to be Dirge of Cerberus. They've said there's going to be a playable version of Advent Children. It's going to be everything, but all is like classic RPG. We'll see how good it is, but that's the idea.
Stuck on mobile.
I know, on mobile, yeah. Well, and the other thing is that trailer showed us that we're going to be able to buy really stupid costumes. So it sounds like you're going to be able to play the games for free, but if you want to dress like a ballerina, you got to swipe your credit card.
Good. And then they showed a bunch of merchandise. There you go. Buster Sword Clock. Cool. And then they got to the two announcements that most people remember. First one being Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. This being a
baby.
remaster, but I think this is going to be like really close to being a remake, which we'll talk about here in a second. But
Square Enix, did you hear did you read the
I think they're throwing people off.
what they said? They
Yeah,
said it's a true remaster. That's
they're
what they
calling
called
it a remaster. I think they're changing stuff in this game, which we'll get to. I think they're gonna.
Okay.
I think they're gonna alter some stuff. But this is Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, which has been stuck on the PSP since like 2007. It is getting they're calling remaster, updated 3D models, full voiceovers, new music arrangements, coming out this winter. That could be 2023. Keep that in mind. It could be like the first like couple months 2023. But it's coming out PS5, PS4, Switch, Xbox Series, Xbox One, Steam, basically everything. And I am really excited for this. This might actually be coming out of this presentation. Believe it or not, this might actually be the announcement I was most excited for. Because I was already expecting the next Final Fantasy VII thing. Go ahead, Max.
I want to say Crisis Core Remastered. I feel like some people don't really understand. Like this game was really, really fun and great on the PSP, but it had some fundamental issues. Like anybody who played it, the PSP had one joystick, and the game looked really beautiful.
Yes.
So there was a lot of times where you just couldn't see shit. It would actually almost hurt you to be inside of these really great 3D representations of historical landmarks inside Shinra Mansion, and you can't look around. So like even the idea of this new control, they've said it's gonna have new UI, which thank God, because the old
You
UI
can see
was
it in the gameplay. You could see it, yeah.
and it looks so modernized. Like the stupid slot machine and stuff looks like it's all streamlined. I don't know. This looks incredible.
They
little
moved the
roulette wheel.
slot machine. I like that they moved it from like the center bottom right to like the top left. So
Yeah.
it's not just like right there in your face all the time. And they changed the controls to play like Final Fantasy VII Remake. So the controls are actually adapted, like you have a dodge button, you have everything's all situated that way, and the game looks great. Graphically, the game looks like it looks really good. And yeah, I'm super excited about this because this game has been stuck on PSP. There's been no real re-release of this game in 15 years. That's crazy, right?
How many copies did it sell?
It
2
did
million?
well. It did
million?
pretty
Well,
Yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, this is actually one of the highest, if not the highest selling PSP game.
Yeah, and
no, Grand Theft Auto games.
Grand Theft Auto, but
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was up there.
What's a high selling PSP game?
Yeah, 7 copies.
Five
5 million.
would be a really high sell. Yeah.
Because the PSP got, I mean, that thing got
Piracy.
pirated like crazy. The attach rate on that system is terrible.
Yeah, because it has a lot of systems. I mean, it sold almost 90 million, right? But
over 2 million
software
worldwide.
rates were pretty low.
Hey,
But in
Final Fantasy
reality-
fans show up. I'll say that.
Yeah, but in reality, this is a lot of people because for me, like I never had PSP, so I remember I watched the entire playthrough of Crisis Core and I liked it. I think Zach is a beloved character, and it was cool seeing him in the 7 remake. So getting people to experience the actual
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I spoiled this whole thing in a video tomorrow.
How many years
The
ago?
game came out. I mean, the remake exists because he died. So
Yeah.
Spoiler
Yeah.
alert.
What?
But I think what's gonna be cool is people are gonna get to fall in love with these characters who might not have decided I'm gonna sit down and watch a playthrough. Like some people just didn't necessarily care to. So I'm really excited that people are gonna get a chance to. Plus, people who did play the OG are gonna kind of get to see like again that like you were saying the modernized justice that this game probably deserves. And with how well and smooth everything's gone with remake and with integration and stuff, I'm kind of cool. It's gonna be cool to see how they kind of correlate the two to kind of I don't know,
Okay.
merge the worlds a little bit. I'm excited.
Okay. Can I pitch an idea to y'all? So I think that this is. I do think they're going to change some stuff as well, John. I think that they're going.
Kingdom Hearts did is what they said.
I don't think they're going to do that, but I have a feeling they're going to really focus more on Genesis. The bad guy, the character of the game is Genesis. He's almost like Sephiroth, but he wears red, but he also has one wing. I think they're going to introduce him as the bad guy for Remake Part 2 because it wouldn't make sense to fight Sephiroth at the end of all 3 parts. It'd be weird. So I think they're doing this because people don't remember who the hell Genesis is. Like, yeah, we have this really weird guy who can clone himself. Let's bring him back so you remember.
That would really make sense though, because I was saying as the end of Remake, I was like, they're already showing off a lot of like like what feels like the ace up the sleeve almost a little bit, so it makes sense if they go even bigger, badder kind of thing.
Well, the fact that they did all the voiceover and everything, I mean, they could definitely change some lines just from that, but they have to change it because like he doesn't die anymore.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to do that thing where they have like the poster work with the dog whip around and stuff in there, and all of a sudden he's going to survive. Maybe they'll show an extended bit of footage after Remake left off of Zack and Cloud actually getting there to the city and everything. And
I mean,
just
none
kinda
of that,
set
they
up
don't
Remake
really,
Part
they don't
2.
have to change anything with Crisis Core to do that. This game can just be as a standalone thing of this is what happened in the original Final Fantasy VII timeline, and we're introducing you to Zack and Genesis and Jill and these characters because they are going to play pivotal roles in Rebirth. We just want to introduce them so people are familiar with them. And at the same time, look at the platforms that Crisis Core is coming to. Switch, Xbox, platforms that do not have 7 Remake. So this game is still going to be the standalone title that is a prequel to the original Final Fantasy VII, but it's for Square to use it as a marketing tool for Rebirth, which we know is going to be PlayStation exclusive.
Also think because in the Ever Crisis trailer, did you notice that it said a different version of the remake? I think that they're going to kind of play into the idea that it's going to be multiple universes, then they are going to Kingdom Hearts it and be like, all right, Zack is dead, but maybe Zack will help you in one universe. Aerith is dead.
I mean, we saw
slipping a cinematic in.
We saw that with the end of Remake. We can tell that there's 2 dimensions going on right now because we know Zack has now survived because we defeated Destiny and the Arbiters of Fate. So we have one timeline with Zack and Cloud approaching Midgar, and then we have the timeline that we played in Remake Part 1, which is the timeline where Zack would have died, and then marching towards calm and such. But even in Remake Part 1, the running theory is that there were 3 Sephiroths running around. There is that timeline Sephiroth, the alternate dimension Sephiroth, and the one from Advent Children, he's looking to basically rectify the mistakes he made in the original timeline.
Yeah, because in the Japanese
Kingdom Hearts, crazy.
I think I don't care the way. I think this, if they leave it, that's fine because it's like one of the best endings in games ever. Like it is by far one of the best. Like Click, you're gonna love the ending.
I cried.
It is that good.
What you mean of Crisis Core?
Yeah.
Oh, I've already watched it. Yeah.
Well, watch it. It's different to play it. Honestly,
I know it's different to play it, but again, this is also assuming that it is going to be 1 for 1.
I know. I think they're slipping a cinematic in there. I'm telling you.
They could change it just like the Final Fantasy VII. Like when it felt like 1 for 1 for a lot, minus those premonitions that Cloud got. And Aerith being like, I know, and you're like, well, that's a little weird. And then literally it feels like the last like couple hours of Final Fantasy VII Remake. You're like, hold up a minute, this is going off the rails. You know what I mean?
We gotta address the elephant in the room here real quick.
Uh-oh.
Sean,
Nah, I never played that shit.
No.
He's
All
too
right,
busy
so
with his
I
wrestling
had
games.
I had
Good
a
news.
PSP. I had a PSP. I enjoyed it. I remember that game coming out, and at that time, I was still of the mindset where I wasn't the biggest Final Fantasy VII fan. So
If you have a Vita with PlayStation portable games on it, you can go back and try it.
You have a PSP Go.
I could do a lot of things in life, but I choose not to.
So here's what you gotta do, Sean. You played through Remake. You gotta get this game when it drops.
Do I?
You do.
I mean, I probably will.
Unless it's completely broke. Like if it comes out and the reviews are like, this game's just demolished. Don't buy it.
It's a very goofy game, Sean. It's by no means a serious Final Fantasy game. Zach says some of the dumbest lines of dialogue squares written in the modern era.
He does. They have these flip phones. I shit you not. He like
All right, robot.
People like
he calls Sephiroth sometimes like, "What's the mission?" And Sephiroth's like, "What the? Oh, am I glitched out?" I was like, okay.
Zach's a good character.
I'm on Zach's phone, bro. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I'm on Zach's phone.
Zach's a good character.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. He's a good character.
See, there's one of the lines of
not that
dialogue
great
right there. BBQ just posted one of the lines that Zach actually says. Me, Gungaga. What the hell is he talking about?
Gungaga.
It's
because
don't you feel like they're going to update some of that stuff?
Nope.
That's what I wonder.
You cannot get rid of me, Gungaga. You cannot.
The charm of Crisis Core is that Zach is basically a normal guy stuck in an anime, and the game is aware of that, so it just goes batshit nuts. And Zach is you sitting there saying to yourself, what the hell is going on with these people?
Well, I'm such a huge anime fan. This sounds right up my alley.
Well, pretend you're the
Oh
cashier at GameStop and you have a bunch of weeboo pieces of shit coming in to buy games.
I would make the other
Damn,
cashier talk to them because I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about.
Shot.
What
If
do
you
you
end
think
up playing
about this new dot hack game? I don't fucking know.
It's
Talk
all
to
right.
the girl who plays them.
Let him watch Jurassic Park for like the 30 millionth time.
Zach is he's a tragic character. He wanted to be the hero of the story the whole way through. Well, power's way out of his reach. We're fighting in front of him. And then at the end, he makes the ultimate sacrifice to protect Cloud, who is suffering from Mako poisoning. And then as he's doing his dying breath, he says, Cloud, you're my living legacy now. He gives him the Buster Sword. And then as Cloud is trudging off towards Midgar, he looks up at the sky, gets pulled up by Angeal, and he asks the player at the end, would you say I became a hero? Credits.
Sean has no heart.
Well,
he doesn't care.
Amazing.
So Sean doesn't get
I'm
the
serious.
game now.
When we all beat Crisis Core, or if we beat Crisis Core, I kind of want to do a spoiler cast or something, group review on my channel, just because I'd be curious how it plays. I want to do like a group review of that game because I love it. I want to just sit down and do a whole podcast about that.
It. What you mean? We can do it right now.
Well, but I'm curious about. Spoiler cast is the wrong term.
I'm going to play a game before I already know what happened.
I'm telling you.
I want to see the new gameplay. Yeah, I want to see the new gameplay, and I want to see what Sean thinks of it because he's going to buy it because he's a dumb Nintendo simp, and then it'll be real fun to talk about.
Well, see, Sean, now he's alive.
Guy.
In Remake, he's alive now.
We're not going with that timeline anymore. He's alive. that ending is going to mean nothing eventually.
The game got mirrored.
Yeah, it did.
It did.
It's a good ending though. It's up there with it's up there with the boss from Metal Gear Solid 3.
Can we talk about how there's a Switch version of this game that is a little surprising to me, and based on at least the trailer that they showed, it looks pretty good.
Let me ask you this, MVG.
Yeah.
What's more surprising, the Xbox version or the Switch version?
I think they're both equally surprising in different ways. I would say.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't think the Switch version is surprising because I feel like Square is like, let's get it on there. It doesn't look like it's not Final Fantasy 7 like Rebirth level or anything like that, but they're probably like, let's try to get it on there because they don't have the deal for Sony, I'm sure, for it. But
where Enix has been, all the Final Fantasy games, old Final Fantasy games that are remastered or brought back are all on Switch and Xbox. So
yeah, but this is kind of a different level of remaster, though. I guess
there's a lot more work.
It looks like at least.
I mean, this is just a higher end remaster than what we saw at Final Fantasy VIII.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess like you can say like, let's say like Trials of Mana, for example. I know it's not Final Fantasy, but like Trials of Mana, that's a remake of Seiken Densetsu 3, and that's not on Xbox, but it's on Switch and PlayStation 4. So I mean, Square Enix always puts out these older games that are like remastered or remade. Like those have all either came to Xbox and Switch, I guess. So I guess I'm kind of used to it.
So some people in the chat are saying it could be the cloud version on Switch. I don't think that's accurate.
They would have to have said it. They would have said it, right?
Yeah,
they would have disclosed that.
They would have disclosed that. Like
they could conveniently leave it out. I mean,
they can't. I actually look
if
back.
they do, there'll be videos
in Japan,
made.
they can't. They have to disclose if it's a cloud version.
Yeah.
And I get this a lot. People were saying that to me, like they could say it later, but I went back and looked at every single announcement, and every single announcement that have had a cloud version, they either say persistent online connection, it's in the actual trailer, or it's in the information on the website afterwards.
they did do that with Kingdom Hearts too.
Is no one else like realized
They
that?
said it right there. It was like,
Yeah, they said it right away. Yeah.
And
What
all
does
the
that
other ones.
say right now about third party and Switch? If people immediately go, it's got to be a cloud version. Has to be.
Right.
That's not good.
That's not good at all. Like, what about
definitely
like
buying-
Midnight Sun? That's another one I feel like people are looking at. It's like that's not coming out with the others. Is that going to turn into a cloud version too?
That's
just
just
like-
already had to say it was a cloud. They can't.
They can be like, look, it's either cloud or we cancel it, and people are gonna be like, well, I don't know. That is a little concerning,
game.
but
Be a damn shame.
it's an XCOM card game.
I mean,
Anyway,
it'll just come out later, like Doom Eternal
Yeah.
came out later, or some of all the other games that came out later, or whatever. But yeah, it's not a. I don't know. It doesn't seem to me like if they can do Trials of Mana remake and that turns out to be just fine. Like the game doesn't look. People are overestimating how like if you go and look at the screenshots, go look at the screenshots. You know, like people are kind of.
yeah, it's not remake. It's not Final Fantasy 7 remake. It's not that.
No,
but-
it's not even.
yeah.
It looks like a really high quality, like maybe PS3 level type of game, maybe somewhere in that range, with some newer tech, obviously better
Yeah,
resolution.
they're smoothing
on
it
PS5.
out, yeah,
Yeah,
stuff,
smoothing it out. So it's not anything crazy, but when you see it in motion, it looks a lot better than what it actually is. Like when you
reminds me of Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5 HD.
It
what
also
they did
looked
there.
like it was running at 60 as well.
Wait a minute, that's
which-
cloud.
Oh yeah, it's running at 60, definitely on the PS5 and Xbox. I think it's probably
Yeah.
going to run at 30 frames on Switch.
Well, I'm confused because some of those assets, like his sword, that looked like the exact Buster Sword asset from FF7 Remake, like dings at all. So it definitely feels like the next gen versions. I don't know. I'm going to be
that
curious.
thing where
what-
they try to merge cinematics with the gameplay,
Yeah.
like try to be very seamless with the camera cuts and all that. So
yeah.
it'll be interesting. But the big reveal, obviously save for the end, is we got a lot more information about Final Fantasy 7, the remake, than what we were expecting. I think like we might have been like, all right, we'll see like a little teaser or something. They just outlined the roadmap. They're like, here's our plan. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. So it's not remake part 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. They're just gonna have a different name for each one, and it's just gonna flow into a trilogy. So it is not going
and
to be
it
4 or
will
5
start
parts.
with Ari again. They're going to continue
Yeah.
with this remake, reunion, rebirth type of trend. So the third one will be called something with
Revenge.
Revolution,
Revolution.
Reloaded.
Resurrection.
It
Resurrection.
It might be
Resurrection.
Resurrection.
It might, based on so if we have disc 1, disc 2, it might
It could be
Resurrection.
Resurrection. I was thinking reunion before they used it for Crisis Core because it would have made sense in the grand scheme.
But Resurrection makes sense because
I still think it's going to
well,
be Revenge.
Is it a spoiler to talk about the end of Final Fantasy 7? Things 25
No,
years
because
old.
that's not going to happen in this game.
But
You
I
don't-
feel
you
like
don't
they're
know.
still going to follow the idea of
Yeah.
the
When did this
planet
game come
and-
out?
Yeah,
But
When did the game
Aerith
come
is
out?
not going to be the one.
90s.
Exactly.
Yeah, 1997. Aerith isn't going to die.
What?
I think she is.
Spoiler.
Well,
alert.
I feel like she's gonna get saved, but then it still happens.
I feel like she dies all the way at the end. Like she is like the
like-
last.
You
thing
know
that
who's going to
stays
die?
in.
Yeah.
You know who's going to die? It's not going to be Aerith.
It's gonna be Cloud.
It's going to be Cloud. Cloud is
No,
gonna die because Zack is the true Cloud.
Oh, what if
I mean, if
Zack
we take
kills
that-
Cloud?
Zack is going to be the new main lead. Cloud is going to die
I don't like that thought.
because think
Well,
of
no.
what happens. We know Sephiroth wants to correct the timeline. When Aerith dies and
Sean,
someone's
Sean, you
holy,
played Remake.
she
Don't bring that.
becomes everything Sephiroth. Like she becomes more powerful by dying. Sephiroth
Yeah.
is not going to make that mistake by killing her this time. She
No,
will
I-
live. Cloud dies, and
What if-
we're going to have the same story beats. It's
What
just
if they
going to
went off
change.
the What if they went off the rails though? What if the big baddie was Genesis, and then all of a sudden Sephiroth's like, we gotta team up, and then Sephiroth becomes a good guy, and then Sephiroth sacrifices himself, and then everybody's like, what the heck?
Hey.
Sephiroth's a good guy
Yeah,
now.
that's fan fiction.
I'm
So-
for it.
So
my
go ahead, Max.
I want to say my honest theory is that I think what's going to happen is I think Zack is stuck in another universe. I think there's going to be big chunks of this game where we're going to play as Zack, and that'll be the way that they can have, a character that starts back at level 1 while our other characters keep leveling up. And I think we're going to see an alternate timeline, but I think the whole shtick is I think they're going to end up choosing that Aerith does need to die. They're going to almost have to reenact the original timeline and make sure that that still carries out. And then I think the third game is going to be called Revenge because they're going to
idea of her like merging with the planet or something crazy happening at the end.
Think of the sequences in Remake
she
Part
did,
1,
yeah.
where the Arbiter of Fate shows those glimpses to them. She's aware of her death. So they can prevent it.
No, but they're gonna realize that's what's needed. Like if I told you, like, all right, we have to do 9/11, but we'll get all this good stuff afterward. This is a terrible analogy.
Yeah, that's not what I'm gonna do.
Okay, you have to have bad things.
But like knows what happens by killing her, so he's not going to do it again. He already knows. We already know we have Advent children Sephiroth. He knows that by killing her, or even Zack, because eventually they're going to come, together in the ultimate timeline. It's that you're going to be the thing that causes me to fail.
Yeah,
I'm going to leave you alone. Cloud
it's the
is the
Donnie
one
Darko
who's feeding
conundrum.
me. I'm going to get rid of Cloud early on. He's getting gutted in the second game.
So
I think what they
go ahead, Click.
I was just I think they're gonna have more moments, kind of like what you had towards the end of Remake, where like maybe Aerith can kind of sense Zack a little bit, because she had that moment, right, where she like hesitated when like they passed each other in like the same like in two different dimensions kind of thing. I think there might be more exchanges like that where like they can feel off, like they feel each other, but like they
she sensed when he died too.
Yeah.
So I the thing that's really interesting though, it is 3 parts, and it looks like this relationship between Square and Sony is much deeper than we originally thought, because there was the idea there was a year timed exclusivity for console. That's not the case, obviously, and it looks like it's going to be Sony continuing along with Square. Eventually, I guess the Rebirth will go to PC and then so on. So there will not have an Xbox version, which seemed to surprise people online, I feel like. Although after it didn't show up on Xbox a year later, it seemed like it was kind of a lock that Sony and Square were Sony's gonna be funding a good bit of this.
I'm shocked, man. Like, I'm shocked, because let's face it, if you looked at the sales numbers of Part 1, Remake Part 1 did not probably sell as much as Square Enix wanted. I'm shocked
they
this
were
never
probably
came
looking
to
for
Xbox.
10 million out of that, and
I know,
like 5 or 6 million.
Yeah, 5 million. So yeah,
Sony gave him a bag. I don't think they care.
Yeah. Well, I think that's part of my theory. Is that's also why I think that this was originally going to be 5 parts, but since the first one didn't sell very much, they're going to sum it up to a trilogy.
I almost wonder if this project started smaller than it is now, and then Sony came in and was like, yo, let's fund this, and Square was like, how far do you want to take this thing? And here we are now with 3. You don't think so? You don't think because this looks very expensive.
Final Fantasy 7 is basically, I mean, that was Square's huge thing. That's one of their most iconic entries to the franchise. It was a huge seller on the PlayStation 1. Cloud is iconic. They wanted to recreate Cloud with lightning in Final Fantasy 13. That did not go as planned.
It did not.
But when you think of Final Fantasy, you think of Cloud. You don't think, what other character from the franchise do you think of?
Sid.
Red 13. I'm like, oh god, yeah, Sid's good too.
Sephiroth.
Everyone
thinks
See, they're all from Final Fantasy 7.
Sephiroth.
Except for Sid. He's in every Final Fantasy ever made.
Obviously Squall. Or Tidus. Come on, Nate. Come on. Get with the program. Noctis. Get with the program.
You just said Noctis?
I like
10 million sold. What's up now? It was a good presentation by Square. It's quick, to the point. 10 minutes long. No complaints. Do more of those.
Right.
Let's move to Xbox Showcase. I've gone through this a few times now, and it always ends up being like 90 minutes long. There was one I did with Kofi, and it was like 90 minutes of this thing, and I'm like, this is going to be a long time again if I try to go through each one. I highlighted some. If I miss one that you guys really like, feel free to mention it. Starting with Redfall, we got gameplay.
Loved it.
You did. Okay, good.
Unironically, I think it looks great. I love co-op shooters. That looks absolutely my style.
More information came out about this. Apparently, you can play through it completely single player if you want. It's narrative driven more so than what they showed. I was thinking it'd be more like a Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood. I may have been wrong, so I will hold out hope that Arcane pulls this one off. So, good to at least see Redfall in action. Still no date on it, but I don't think they're going to do that anytime soon. They'll hold off until it's absolutely ready. Hollow Knight Silksong. No one was going to expect this until it got leaked out by the snitch. and like anyone expected this. Hollow Knight was always like related to Nintendo for a lot of predictions.
Nate, are you the snitch?
Oh yeah, we should. Yeah, Nate, are you this? We should get this on. We should get this on video.
Snitch on yourself, Nate.
Are you the snitch?
No. Oh, Nate, you sound like Joey Ramone, by the way. Watch a Ramones interview, and you sound exactly like him.
That's a high compliment.
Thank you.
Hollow Knight Silk Song, though, that was a good reveal. Let's say we've got more gameplay of it and all of this, and it's coming to Game Pass day one. So Team Cherry got the bag. 3 or 4 people got the big check. So hey, good for them. High on Life. This was actually a game that surprised me a bit, and I think it looks really good.
It's a Rick and Morty one, right?
Yeah. I
Nate
like the
does
gun.
sound like Joey Ramone.
Oh my god.
I was a little surprised on this one. They showed it and then they talked about it in the extended gameplay. It's gonna be like a Metroidvania style.
Yeah.
And I think it looks very colorful. It's interesting with some of the visuals they have, and the commentary is like the strongest part of it apparently. Like where they're gonna do more adult humor in games. So
Yeah.
I like what they showed. I think the guns and the weapons are interesting with the talking like pistol or the knife that'll tell you to just keep stabbing people. I'm gonna keep an eye on this one. It's coming out this year. Was it October? Yeah, October, going right into Game Pass.
I mean, what do we think it is though? I think it's like a 5-6 hour game, and then
I don't think it's gonna be super long. No.
Yeah.
I didn't like the talking gun.
You didn't?
No.
I thought this would have been right up your
like-
alley, Sean. It has your kind of humor to it.
No, it's too Rick and Morty-ish. Like I don't think Rick and Morty is all that funny. Like I think it's okay, but yeah, it's too much. It's too overbearing. I felt thinking. About
Okay.
You
Just for
find
me.
something too overbearing?
Yes.
You? Okay, Chief.
Let's you know what? People said we had to bring this up. I think OJ did. We got Forza Motorsport. Here we go. They showed off real-time ray
2023.
tracing on track, which by the way is actually a pretty big deal. They had to say it again. Yes, it's actual ray tracing being used on track, not in 30 frames per second replay mode, which definitely took some shots at Gran Turismo there. Dynamic time of day. The temperature is going to change along with that time of day, so the track conditions will be altering pretty frequently because some of those races in Forza go on for a long time. Car damage as well, Sean. Full car damage. 2023 though.
Well, there's like somebody just mentioned that actually wasn't an Xbox. That was a PC version that they shown, which I thought was kind of.
In the press release, they mentioned that the settings would be reflective of an Xbox as well.
But just show it on the Xbox.
I think they show a lot of this stuff on PC.
But
Like
that's
just how they do it.
A game like
Ask
that.
MVG.
Or Final Fantasy 16. All those trailers have been recorded on PC, I think.
Yeah. So that's just how it is. It's just I assume MVG. It's easier to just say, look, it's already here. Let's just get the stuff.
Yeah. Plus, you're also showing the best version of the game, and
Yes.
I get Sean's point, and in many ways I agree because if you want to show, if you're doing an Xbox showcase, then you should show the Xbox version, right? But there's many reasons why they probably didn't do that, but at the end of the day, most companies will just show a PC version because that is the best version of the game.
I think
At
they
least
also
graphically.
referenced it allowed them to do the single camera shot that they wanted to do for the gameplay demo. That was easier to capture on a PC than it would have been on native Xbox hardware.
Yep.
So it could have just been the tool sets that they had.
Okay. Hey, you know what? Either way, car games look ridiculous now anyway. No matter how you go with it. I mean, Forza, I'm sure, is going to set a new standard because I didn't realize it's been like 5 years since the last Forza game came out.
I wonder if they've
Gran
given more
Turismo
polygon, if they've given more triangles to like the crowd, because you know how the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Low poly.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2.
I mean,
Gran Turismo 7 is just very disappointing if you like those kind of games for a lot of people. So they have a chance.
You're ready
to
for Forza,
capitalize.
Sean.
I'm
You're
ready. I'm ready. I'm definitely ready for it.
Okay. Very
I
good.
need something different because Gran Turismo 7 just Gran Turismo 7 has a very Halo-ish problem where it's like all this stuff from previous games isn't there, and it's like, okay, thanks.
I am a little surprised that it's in the 2023 though. I will say that I was almost positive we'd see this holiday, but
That's the only letdown for me. I think it looks fantastic. I wish we were playing it. I'm going back and playing Forza Horizon 5 more for the first time, really. And yeah, I wish we had Motorsport right now.
I'm gonna move down through a bunch of reveals. This did include Fallout 76. I will say Flight Simulator though, because they hail a Pelican for MVG. So there you go.
Sure.
Gotcha, MVG. They Overwatch 2, October 4th, early access, free to play.
No hero. Yep.
They did show Flintlock, which looked kind of interesting. Third-person action, and kind of stood out from a lot of what we've been seeing from Xbox recently. Almost Uncharted-ish, sort of. And I moved past As Dusk Falls because Sean said it made him sick, and I want to bring that up again.
Oh my God! What were just?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, did I take some mushrooms or something? Like, why does the game look like this? Is there something wrong with the game?
Yeah.
Who thought that was a good decision?
It's weird. It's overly artsy, but someone had to fuck it up.
Then we have Pentiment, narrative adventure from Obsidian. It is an Xbox release this year, so don't really know if it's for everyone though, from what they showed. So apparently storytelling was good for this kind of game, so we'll see if it gets an audience in Game Pass. Diablo 4 though. Diablo 4 looks very good. Very good. Yeah. They described it with they showed off the Necromancer class. Had a big reveal. Beta signups going live. Fully realized open world, 150 dungeons, strongholds, she'll reclaim, world boss, a shared world, crossplay, couch co-op, 2023. Much easier to get excited for this game over Diablo Immortal. So,
some people are afraid though, because some of those ideas in Immortal feel like they were made for a bigger game. And people also noticed they lied in a lot of interviews where they would be like, oh, you can't buy progression in Immortal, but you buy a key that basically gives you progression. So people are like, all right, whatever they say in these interviews about monetization for Diablo 4, don't believe it.
Yeah, they seem to try to say, hey, we'll do expansions down the road like usual, and we'll do cosmetics. So yeah, I think people are just much more aware of what happened with Diablo Immortal, so they're going to be a little hesitant with that. But from what they've shown, it looks good. I think you could have a blast with it, and I'll be playing Diablo 4 quite a bit next year. I think it'll be fun. We can team up and do all kinds of cool stuff.
I know you guys aren't big Riot gamers, but did you talk about literally like all of the Riot games coming over? And like League and Valorant having all of their heroes unlocked.
Apparently that's a thing. Okay, so what they're going to do with that is they're going to give you benefits in Game Pass where you just have this stuff you'd normally have to buy, is my understanding. There's going to unlock it.
Well, it's either a mix of buying or putting like a crap ton of hours into the game to unlock these for League. I mean, it's hundreds.
Yeah, somebody calculate it's $780 to unlock this content.
Yeah, and Valorant, and that you can only play through games and experience. So that's like probably 10 hours of gaming right there. But no, that's a big deal. Bringing everything over. That was really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I did mark down Wolong Fallen Dynasty. I wish we had gameplay of that because it is kind of cool to see Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo show up with a new IP like this. And kind of, I guess, imagine more like a Neo, maybe a bit more fast paced, but it is in the Dynasty Warriors universe. Am I thinking right?
Three Kingdoms.
Thank you. But hey, from what they showed there with the cinematic, looks like it's got a cool art direction and everything, so I'll just keep an eye on this. That's coming out early 2023. The thing that's weird about that is I figured they would have had gameplay if it's coming out that soon.
They have the Bloodborne like director, producer that's making the game as well. I think what they showed, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was in game, right? What they showed.
I mean, like we got extended gameplay for some of these games here, but I didn't see that. Like I was looking for them to just be like, here's 5 minutes of us just playing the game to show you some of the stuff, combos, parries.
Game Pass day one too.
Yeah, it's gonna be on it's gonna be on PlayStation and PC and all that too. But yeah, going into Game Pass day one. So yeah, there you go. They did show. And this is the part that I got really confused about because at the beginning of the show, they said, hey, we're going to show you stuff that's coming out in the next 12 months. I guess Hideo Kojima is releasing in 12 months. So they showed him on screen. To be fair, they didn't announce a game here. But Kojima shows up. Phil Spencer all excited to show that they have a partnership with him to create a game that will leverage the power of the cloud. I assume similar to how Flight Simulator does it, where that draws out the landscape and things that are happening in the real world will appear in the game.
Sounds terrifying.
Terrible mistake, by the way, to give Kojima this kind of power. So good luck to all of us when he creates Ultron in 3 years.
Right? He's gonna be reading my emails or something.
Dude, some of the stuff that they had, the concepts they had for him, apparently with like a Silent Hill game way back when, is a little alarming. So, and just remember, Azure's hooked up to a lot of stuff. So, it'll be kind of interesting to see what Kojima. Apparently, this is a game he's been thinking about for a long time, and he even went as far as to go to Stadia to try to get it done. So that tells you how much he wanted to do this. He says it'll be very challenging, but it's going to be a while. So I'm thinking like 2025, 2026. Because when he showed up, he did this exact same thing with Sony, by the way, with Andrew House where he sat on the couch with him. They shook hands. Hey, we're doing Kojima Productions and we're making a game with PlayStation. 3 years later, we got Death Stranding. So thinking about that timeline. And we did have. Actually, I'm going to save that for the next time. Starfield. Let's talk about Starfield for a minute. They showed Starfield. And I saw some mixed reactions for this one. I was trying to figure out what people thought Starfield was going to be. I think I kind of feel like the hype got so out of control for the Starfield reveal that no one really even knew what they wanted it to be in the first place. I was picturing Fallout in space.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they showed. So I'm like,
exactly what they showed.
That looks about right. I think MVG said it correctly when it's like, I wasn't underwhelmed or overwhelmed. You said you're just whelmed, or somebody said that.
Yeah,
that's right. I will say at the time, it wasn't really connecting with me. But I will say that I did go back and watch the 4K cinematic or the trailer after the fact the next day, and I think it looks pretty good. Like I was pretty happy with what they showed. So I'm feeling a little more hyped about Starfield again, because at the time, it was kind of mid for me when they showed it, because like I wasn't really feeling it. I don't know why. Like maybe it was just the way that they presented it. It didn't really connect with me in the way that I thought it would. But when I saw it again in 4K, I was like, this is I get what they're doing here.
As a Discord
4K
question,
really? Sorry, go ahead.
As a Discord question, we do have someone asking whether do we think it's going to play more like No Man's Sky or more like the Outer Worlds?
Outer Worlds.
I would say the Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
Click, what was your question about 4K?
I was gonna say, does 4K make it that big of a difference though? Like, for example, for people who can't play it in 4K, would that truly change the experience for them and trying to understand their vision?
I think it's the compression with the stream too, though.
That was my issue, because it looked a little janky like when they showed it, and I think it was just the compression and stuff at the time. So I wanted to just see it again, and it does look a lot cleaner. But I mean, tech wise, it's definitely a step up from the creation engine that we saw previously on Fallout 76,
the creation engine they've been using.
But I mean, it's still a Bethesda game, right? Like, you know, there's always going to be that jank associated with a game like that.
What's weird to me is they obviously because they talked about doing photogrammetry for the landscapes. The characters do look a little off because they don't look as good as the landscapes. Yeah. That's the thing I noticed. I'm like, the character looks like a generation behind what the landscapes are.
It looks like a Bethesda character to me. It reminds me of Fallout 4. I literally, like, I saw it and I didn't say anything, but I think the biggest thing for me is I didn't like the way the gunplay really looked. I think the collecting and the resources and building outposts and stuff, I think that'll be cool. It's a very like solitary kind of experience. The combat to me like was kind of What I really wanted to see was, can we fly in space? And then I saw that and I was like, that looks really fun. But then of course there's the follow-up of there's no seamless transition between
that one was a little weird.
Space. And that just like is a real bummer to me, because like even for as not good the game was, that's something that I really liked about Starlink. I think that was something that really
No Man's Sky does it.
There is a thought about that though, because in No Man's Sky you do spend a major percentage of your time flying in space, leaving atmosphere and then going back into it. Like it's kind of a waste.
Do you want kind of like that? I don't know. I personally would like that immersion a little bit. I don't want
it adds to
screen.
The first 10 times probably, when you're doing it for your 1000th time, it probably won't feel as good. But
you don't have to make it a long process. Just make the first time dramatic. You know, have it be a title screen or something.
You just don't want there to be a camera cut. You want it to be like whoosh, like just completely up in the sky. I see what you're saying.
You could speed it up.
I made a video this week that some people got mad about, but it got good views, so I don't care. But I basically said some people hate Starfield, and I looked at, because it felt like a lot of people on Twitter were very disappointed in general, because it doesn't look next gen to me. I mean, I'm glad I have my Xbox Series X. I have a lot of very good-looking Xbox Series X games, but Starfield isn't going to be one of them. And I am personally sad about, like, replaying Skyrim recently, that Skyrim has such a good world progression, going into cities for the first time, picking up quests, all that has this interesting sense of growth. And I don't know if Starfield's going to have that, since it's going to have 1,000 planets, most of which are procedurally generated. I feel like a lot of it's just going to be flying around looking for shit to do.
That's the big question. They said there's 1,000 planets, and I thought of that and I said, wow, that feels like you're going to find planets that just have nothing.
It's just a rock
there. Yeah.
I think one of the things is when you look at Bethesda games for past decade plus, longer than that, they all kind of look the same. They all have very, very distinct similarities, and mostly because they were just new. You had your Elder Scrolls, your Oblivions, and then you had your Fallouts, and they both were similar. They did a lot of things similar, but they also came up along the same time, so it kind of made sense. And I think for some people it's kind of like, well, is this what Bethesda is going to do for all their games like this? Like, could this, I think some people wanted this to be sort of the jump off point where they tried something a little bit different.
Something new. I agree.
And definitely it looks, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's what it is. It looks it's essentially Fallout in space. And I think for some people, maybe they were hoping for a little bit of deviation from that.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's sometime next year. I thought about this could be a game that ends up in the later half of the year. It's very possible. I'd like to think it's first half.
I thought it was still going to be.
I don't know.
I
They
don't
start
think
talking about
months.
it. This sounds like it's gonna be a big game. So it's like,
if you ever,
this game's been in development for 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, Bethesda, though.
I think that Bethesda games,
still
for me
chugging.
at least, it's like they always play way better if you just give it some time.
Yeah, it's because the community fixes them.
Yeah, so I think that maybe when the game launches, it's not going to be anything, it's going to be good, but if you wait a year and there's the special edition, or there's the definitive or game of the year edition, that one's going to be the one that's going to be oh snap, they fixed everything, they did this, they did that. That's how I feel, because I used to be huge into Skyrim. I'm not so much anymore, but I used to love Fallout and all that, and that's kind of how I felt with the game of the year edition with Fallout and all this stuff before, back when I used to play them. So I think eventually the game will be really, really, really good, and it'll be re-released a million times over again, just like Skyrim and Fallout have. So
it's definitely a game you're gonna get, and they're gonna be you can spend hundreds of hours in this easily. So it's.
I think when the game comes out, people are gonna really like it a lot, and it's gonna get a lot of traction. Even if it has its issues, people are still gonna play the hell out of it, because it's Bethesda. It always happens.
Game Pass, baby.
Even Fallout 76 has even found its audience. That game was trash when it launched. Even that kind of had its audience.
They sent out multi helmets.
They did.
Elder Scrolls Online, that game at first it launched, it was and then all of a sudden people play the hell out of it. So they always find their audience.
I guess it's weird though, is that Bethesda now is becoming synonymous with the wait and see model. It's even the best Bethesda games, wow, that looks pretty good. Well, see you in a year. It's kind of weird that
as long as it gets done eventually. I mean, that I guess.
Yeah, I think the game is going to be
destroyed. Bethesda got him.
Todd Howard shut off his ISP.
It'll eventually be good, and I'll eventually be gone off this podcast.
I think the game is going to be good when it drops, though. I think it'll go over well, and people will enjoy it. So.
It's going to be a solid 8.5.
There you go.
Yeah. That'll get rated higher.
Probably.
Fallout
4.
I'm gonna take a look at we're gonna go over this next announcement real quick, and actually, Evan, you can follow it up right away with that Discord question, because they did.
Bless you.
Bless you.
It sounded like you sharted, bro. You sharted out of your mouth.
Oh, sorry. I tried to learn to do front flips as a kid, and I shattered pretty much every bone of my nose, so when I sneeze, I hold it in. If I scratch up my nose, there's always white zigzags. It's because I never fixed it. I just have a broken nose forever.
Right
They did announce that Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royal are heading to Xbox and Game Pass starting October 21st with Persona 5 Royal. It was also followed up that Persona 4 Golden is going to PlayStation as well as P3 Portable. It was kind of all over the place. It was weird. They had multiple press releases just for each PlayStation system almost. Atlas, just be an Atlas. That's Atlas, all. That's all it is.
be an Atlas. But I will say Xbox with Persona, that's dope because of the what was it? The quick resume feature for Persona 5 Royal. Sure. You're gonna need it for all those games. You're probably gonna want it or need it. So that'll be good.
You want to follow up with the question as well for Persona, Evan?
So will Persona ports show up in the next Direct, or does Sega and Atlas really not want to sell these games on the most popular platform in their home region?
Hey, Nate.
I think they're in the Direct, or at least.
Hey Nate, what do you think? Nate?
That's the weird thing because Nate's asking some mysterious questions over there on Twitter.
Nate? What do you think, man?
Persona 3 and Persona 4 Golden are coming to Switch.
That's not what I'm questioning. That's not what I'm questioning. I'm
Persona
questioning
5 I do not have confirmation of. The other two I do. Whether or not they're in the Direct, that's for Nintendo and Atlas and Sega's marketing to determine. They may not have it in the Direct because those two games are 2023. They may wait, until those are closer to release to announce. But they definitely could be in the Direct, but there's no guarantee.
It's already weird that they're announced for Xbox before Switch. That's already weird.
Money talks.
If it's not on the Direct, in the Direct, that's gonna be even weirder. That it's it's going to Xbox but not Switch yet. 5 is the one I'm really curious about. 3 Portable and Golden, I think are that's definitely happening.
A lot of people feel that it's not, man. You'll be surprised. People that feel that it's not or that it wasn't going to happen. Like the videos that I made before about these games coming out, people are like, no, it's not happening. Atlas isn't going to do it, So
it'll play great as
a
cloud version.
Yeah,
version.
Or something. Some people. Oh my god, you'll be surprised how skeptical people can be with Persona because of Atlas. Because of how Atlas.
Dude, that would be crazy if they had Persona 5 and it had the logo up with the Switch and then it just said cloud version right underneath it.
Oh my god.
Oh, that would be crazy.
I would love it just for the mental breakdowns.
Oh no.
Would be that'd be dumb. Why would they? That seems like a bad idea.
Seems like an Atlas move.
Fingers crossed, baby. Fingers crossed.
Atlas doesn't have any. They don't have any cloud games. I don't think they have any cloud games at all.
Got to start somewhere.
Now they just don't do it. Whatever, it's not gonna Soul Hackers too. They're just not gonna do it. It's oh, okay, I guess. So I feel like it's gonna be there. At least 2 of them are gonna be in the Direct, just to get that announcement out there. Although the fact that they have press releases for each version is weird, but it's long overdue. Atlas needs to get with the program here with their Persona stuff. That should be a massive series right now. I mean, it's already big, but it should be even bigger. So,
well, and it's free money. That's the weirdest thing is people are constantly people have been begging to buy them forever.
It's long to get Persona 4 Golden though. Onto anything other than a Vita. That's so weird. So I feel like it's happening soon, and I hope they have physical copies in mind. I'd love to buy Persona 4 Golden physically on a Switch. That'd be cool, right? To have that. So that's
now there's no physical right now. No, they've already confirmed that it's digital.
I wonder if that would be a situation where it gets released in Asia or something and we can import it on the Switch.
Maybe there's a physical on Switch, but right now it's confirmed to be digital for Xbox and PlayStation. But Persona 5 Royal on PS5 is physical, it seems, and maybe even Xbox is physical. So
okay.
We'll see with Persona 5 Royal. Oh, and they also confirmed that it's I think it's 60 frames per second. The Persona. I mean, it's a turn-based RPG, but they did upgrade it, so that's nice.
Oh, good stuff. All right, very cool. And that obviously leads into the question of Persona 6 now, since 5 is multi-plat. Do they just go full on? Do they do it that it was what happened we saw with Street Fighter, where there's Capcom, but Street Fighter was just PlayStation, and then they said, hey, we're opening this up to we're just going big with Street Fighter 6. I'm just wondering if something similar happens with Persona 6 whenever that does happen. If they're we're multi-plat now, it's just going to whatever we can get it. PC, the whole thing, day one. So
I would think it would matter if Xbox is cutting another check, honestly.
I almost wonder if that is a thing. They're like, hey, you want it on there? You got to give us some money. That's just the way it is.
I could easily see it go the opposite of Sony making sure that these games remain exclusive on them for, let's say, 5 years. Look how long it took for Persona 5 to come to another platform.
It did take a while. Sony's writing their own checks.
So, I mean, Sony knows the value of Persona on their brand. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go out of their way to make sure.
I don't think they wrote. I think Atlas is Atlas. I don't think Sony even wrote a check for Persona 5. I don't know if they did. I haven't been able to find anything. I don't know if they did. Maybe they did. I don't know. I think it's just Atlas.
You think we're just trying to explain Atlas's behavior through?
I think it's just Atlas. I think it's just okay. SMT5. Did Nintendo write a check? Maybe not. I don't know. All I know is that Atlas is weird, man. Like they make super weird decisions. Imagine skipping multiple generations of one of the best rated RPGs of all time. Like that's popular and did well. Like it came out on the freaking PS2. They skipped the PS3. They skipped the PS4, and now we're all the way in the PS5. Oh, here's Persona 4. Like I don't know, man. Like that's just so awkward. And then once John, like, dude, they were surprised that Persona. Oh my.
Yeah, they were surprised that it sold well. But they don't have a lot of experience with PC. That's the only thing I can explain it is like they didn't know. So they're like, we don't know if this crowd's going to buy a $20 version of one of the best RPGs ever made.
It's $20.
Yeah.
It's one of the highest rated turn-based RPGs, and it's $20. Yes, people will just.
I still wonder.
I bought it, didn't even play it.
I still wonder if some of these game companies just believe that on PC everything just gets pirated immediately. Like because we see DRM with De Novo so heavy-handed in a lot of these things, and it's like maybe they just believe that. Like one of the reasons that Judgment was having such a hard time getting to PCs because they were like they're gonna mod up the main character, and that's a likeness that we can't have happen. So it's like I almost wonder if that I don't want to say intimidates them a bit, but makes them a bit hesitant to start just moving everything over. But they were surprised, and now looks like they're doubling down. So.
It just seems so weird. Like the amount of millions of people who've just been asking it for it on any platform, and then it came to Steam and sold well, and they were so shocked. It just feels like, do you not have any market research? Are you not listening to Twitter? Like,
yeah. Just like I said, sometimes they can be brilliant, but other times, like I'm not trying to just like crash on Atlas. Like Atlas they can be really good. They did a good job of marketing with SMT5, like on the Switch. I mean, by itself, that was a really good job of marketing. So like they know what they're doing, but just sometimes they hesitate on things. That's all. Maybe too much or decades.
Decades. We have Discord questions over there, Evan.
Yeah, let's see if I can translate this. What are some cartridges with built-in hardware that the Switch simply cannot emulate? He specifically refers to the Kojima game with the solar pickup on it for killing vampires.
A weird one. Perfect Dark on the Game Boy Color for some reason didn't want to use the speaker inside the Game Boy itself, so there's a speaker on the cartridge that would actually read very, very realistic audio to you. So if you play that game as a ROM, I don't even know how the hell it would work because they tell you what to do.
How would it do the Switch? How would the Switch do Hey You Pikachu?
Right. C-Man.
Well, you would need a microphone.
You'd have to hook it up to your cell phone and it would run through the app.
I guess they'd be like, you need a headphone, so get your phone too.
Yeah, use Nintendo voice chat.
Oh, good. I think Pokemon Stadium, because Pokemon Stadium is still one of the most mind-blowing experience was as a kid after playing Pokemon Red for a year. Pokemon Stadium just seemed impossible. So I want to have that come to Switch somehow.
That would be cool. Have the transfer pack, which there were rumors about that being utilized. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that's obvious that's like that pops up that they would use on cartridges. I did the Nintendo 64 Vitality sensor. They can't do that. I played it. It was all right. You got another Discord question, Evan?
Advance Wars next direct, maybe?
Yeah, I hope so. I think they're going to push that thing out the door in December, though.
Maybe.
I mean, that thing should have been out a while ago. We should all beaten it and moved on by now. But I think it's coming out in December. Like, they're just going to push it out at the end of the year. Yes.
And I guess on the same topic, any other Game Boy or Game Boy Advance game that you would like to see remade in that style?
As
Advance Wars, yeah.
Advance Wars, yeah. I liked Final Fantasy Tactics was good.
Yeah.
A Game Boy Advance game? I mean, Mega Man Battle
Fire
Network
Emblem on Game Boy Advance.
Mega Man Battle Network is one I'd like to see a Battle Network collection. I don't know if Capcom's going to do that because they seem to have forgotten that they have Mega Man, but that's what I would like to see, Battle Network collection. Make it happen, Capcom. talk about, actually, speaking of which, speaking of Capcom, an event that Mega Man was not at.
Whoa.
Go ahead, Nate.
Let's give us some general thoughts on Microsoft's presentation as a whole.
Okay, Nate, what were your overall thoughts on Microsoft's presentation?
In its entirety, I think what Microsoft did, it wasn't bad. Where Microsoft failed, and I'm going to critique them first before I give them praise, is that they didn't set the expectation for the show properly. Had they come out a week or so ahead of time and relayed the information that they were going to be focusing on 12 months, expectations for the show would have been altered radically, and it would have allowed people to come in with a grounded expectation of what would be there. And I think Microsoft is on track to do something well with that 12-month window in terms of presentation format. If that's their new standard, I applaud them for that, and I hope they continue to go that route. But the problem with the show was, without that expectation already laid, we came into it expecting to see updates on titles like Avowed, Contraband, Hellblade 2, titles that we know are heavily rumored to be coming out in 2023, and they're just beyond that 12-month mark. So if the show went 18 months, the show is very different because we'd be getting updates on those games. And the show felt as though it was a retread of last year's show, where it was, once again, Starfield, Redfall, Dusk. We want updates on those games that are farther down that roadmap that we have heard about time and time again, but it wasn't within that 12-month window.
You know what?
And that's the big flaw of the show. Microsoft has a good foundation moving forward, but the show simply wasn't what the fans were really looking for. And we could get this at the Game Awards. We can get this in the future. It's just, it was the wrong show at the wrong place.
I'm going to tell you this, Nate. All right. I might get in trouble with this one, Sean. I don't believe anyone who says that they don't want to see big reveals, even if they're years out.
Yep, I agree.
I don't believe anyone when they're like, "Why did they show it to us? It's not out for 2 or 3." I don't believe it.
So
people get excited when Wolverine's claws come out. I don't even know what that game's going to be.
You have to supplement it. You supplement it with games that are coming out. And then you do those big games that are maybe a few years out. People will still get excited for it, but there's also something tangible for them to grab onto that's coming in the immediate future.
So Microsoft got criticized last year because everything was like a movie trailer that was coming out in 2024 and beyond, right? They listened to the concerns of the community, and this is the result of that. And I applaud. I like Nate said, I think overall it was the right approach. But the communication around it was obviously something they could have done a better job on. Like even if Aaron Greenberg just did a Twitter drop like a week before saying, "Hey, just to set expectations, the show is going to be the next 12 months," that would have been fine. Because a lot of us went in thinking, yes, we're going to see Avowed. Like everyone was like, Avowed's going to be there, and then it wasn't, right? And we knew straight away as soon as Sarah Bond said that it was the next 12 months.
What's
a lot of games that we
right now?
Yeah, a lot of games that we had just thought about are no longer on the table. So I think that the 12-month thing was good, but to Sean's point, I feel like they should have just shown like 10 minutes worth of, and this is the stuff that's longer term that you guys want updates on, and we'll give them to you, right? So I think that would have really been really beneficial for the show overall.
And you know that they had to at least somewhat realize that, because what was the point of Kojima?
Right.
Exactly.
People got mad at me. I did a long video where I said I gave it a 4 out of 10.
Parents there, Dreamcast guy.
Yeah. You know me, Mr. Controversial. When I by accident, most of my videos not getting downvote bombed. That one people got real mad though, because I gave it a 4 out of 10. Because my problem was like, I hate DLC talk. So like with the fact that this is their big presentation and we saw like Sea of Thieves Season 7 and Fallout 76 DLC, that stuff killed the pacing. I wish that they'd put extra teasers. Like I do wish that at the end they just said like, hey, here's Avowed. Here's a screenshot of Fable. Even that would have been something.
It was
that's where like I look at the show. I think the show was good. I think what they showed was well presented. I like the focus on gameplay. It was just, had they set that expectation earlier on, we would have gone in saying, okay, next 12 months, we would have known not to expect Avowed and updates on those other games. and we would have been able to go and say, we're going to see Redfall. It's going to be a lot of Starfield. We're going to see Forza. And that would have been fine. To the show itself, it kind of suffered a bit from the syndrome of Summer Game Fest. They could have tightened up the show. It opened strong, ended strong. The middle got a little too fluff, where if they would have gone from 95 minutes, let's say down to 70, I don't think anything that substantial would have been missed. It was all about, sometimes less is more again. And Microsoft could have taken that to heart. I think the show itself on its own merits, if you just took it for what it was a good presentation from Microsoft. It just wasn't the show that a lot of people were expecting from them.
You know what's weird about this show? The more I've looked at it, did it really feel like an Xbox show?
I mean, they said Game Pass 80 times.
You had Sarah Bond out there. You had Phil Spencer. You had Game Pass was every other word.
It didn't feel like a Microsoft show in the sense that we didn't really. It wasn't. Like you didn't see the Microsoft games that you were expecting to see.
Yeah, that's like what Microsoft game where you're like, there's Master Chief. That's it.
Perfect.
Like,
perfect dart. Oh, no.
Flying
there's that
game.
Aston Martin.
You got the flying game.
The flight simulator, MVG simulator.
I feel like with Xbox, we used to be like, there's Marcus Phoenix. Like they'd have all these mascots and stuff. We'd immediately go, all right, that's Xbox. I'd look at them like that's Bethesda, which obviously is owned by Microsoft now, but it's interesting, this presentation. As I've looked at it, it didn't feel as much like an Xbox showcase as I thought it would have when we were all making predictions and talking about it. And maybe that's the 12-month thing you're talking about, Nate. Maybe if they did show so maybe there is another Gears of War project or something like that in development. Maybe they had something they could have shown for Halo. I'm just trying to think of ways they could have made it feel more like Xbox.
That's the thing, is that we know the Coalition is working on a smaller project not related to Gears of War. This felt like it would have been the presentation for them to unveil it, but then the 12-month rule hit. And that was, the game's not going to come out by next June, so we're not going to see it here. And it was just that shift in tone that kind of changed the atmosphere and the feel of the show. And again, if they went 18 months, and we would have got updates on those big games we have now seen a couple of times. We've seen updates on them. We'd be having a totally different conversation. Because if Avowed's there, Hellblade 2 is there, Contraband's there.
Sure.
Wow, that is all of a sudden, it's changing everything that you're looking forward to the Xbox in 2023. All the games we're looking forward to, the games that we have seen, are coming out after June 2023.
Well, there's been a bunch of rumors that BioShock 4 is about to be shown at some point, and I know it's all different dev teams, but I'm curious about it. Something like that. Like if you said, hey, these are games that are coming to Xbox at some point in 2023, just a logo of some stuff. I don't know. Not enough.
Like, I'm glad that the Josh Sawyer game, Pentiment, was shown. It's coming out later this year. And as we said, it's not a big game. It's not going to be a game people are like, oh my God, this is awesome. The writing is going to be fantastic. I can't wait to play that game. Sean's rolling his eyes.
The reason I'm okay with that game, though, is because it is a different kind of game. They have that variety that they're trying to stack in Game Pass, and that's their plan. Stack Game Pass as much as you can. But like the character, somebody you put on the banner of like Game Pass, like there's definitely Xbox right here. Is it like you put a Lamborghini like for Forza? That's fine, because we do recognize Forza as, it's been there since the beginning. But man, it just made me realize, like, man, Master Chief is in a bad spot right now to where they can't even wheel him out and be like, hey, it's Master Chief. It's like they can't even do that. Now, part of that is because the show kind of ruined him a bit, but like
he walks out fully nude. Hello, it is I, Master Chief.
I'm actually surprised that Halo Infinite didn't have like Season 3 talked about it. There was a leak today that talked about Forge, and it sounds awesome.
Yeah, I saw that.
You're gonna be able to combine weapons.
Maybe it's not coming out within the next 12 months.
The word is it's actually coming out sooner than we think it is, apparently, and it's probably going to be broken when it shows up because it's going to be in like in a beta. But it's going to be out at least. It'll be something different and new. Maybe I can get some of you people to actually sign in and play.
I haven't installed. I haven't uninstalled it yet. I'll play someday.
I play like every other night. But it's still Halo, man. It's still Halo for me.
Is it though?
It is. I've been playing Halo longer than some people have been who are watching probably been alive. I've been playing Halo for a long time, and I think
you're a hopeless romantic for the series. I'm sorry.
It might be. Also, I'm pretty good at it. That helps a little bit.
Eventually, it's gonna. They have like what, a 10-year plan for it. So
Oh God, I hate that term.
Just in time for my
Year
midlife
3,
crisis.
light it on fire, send
Right.
it into space.
But you know what? I thought the show, for what it was, like you said, Nate, if they communicated 12 months, I'd have been like, oh, they showed games, they showed gameplay. All right. I feel like I would have been right in the middle. It wouldn't have blown me away. It wouldn't have disappointed me. I'd have just seen the games and then just kind of moved along.
Yeah, I mean,
So.
when they put out that image in it where they showed, here's what's coming in the next 12 months, all the Game Pass games coming, it was a good lineup. Like, it wasn't a bad lineup of games that they had on display during the showcase. It's just, we were expecting a bigger show than what we ended up getting. And that's why, if Microsoft does this format moving forward, I want them to do that. I want to go into next June. And once again, they're saying 12 months out is what we're going to focus on.
I think it'll be easier, though. I think next year is when Microsoft really gets rolling. And I think it'll just be easier because they'll have a lot more stuff to show.
Because in theory, next June, when Microsoft does their showcase, it will be Avowed, Hellblade 2, Contraband,
GoldenEye. Say it.
GoldenEye
Say it.
Season 3?
Banjo.
Banjo. Perfect
But it's
Dark.
all those games that we have heard about, and we'll finally get the updates that we've been seeking.
Yes.
But I just
And we'll
feel
get the
like
release dates and everything.
It's always that situation with Microsoft. Oh,
Yeah,
one more
next year. Next
Because
year.
they bought it and not all the studios were turnkey. Some of them had to get stuff done, and now they
to be fair, this year was supposed to be the biggest year ever for video games, and look where we are. It's not just
Yeah.
Microsoft. Not just
We're still trying to figure out if God of War is coming out this year. And
It
it's
is.
June.
It's coming out this year.
Yeah, I know, but
We'll
they haven't
know
made it
in-
official.
It will be very soon.
Couple
Kimiko was
couple
supposed to
weeks.
come out. Look what happened there.
Yeah.
I mean,
They can't even give you a refund on it anymore because they already spent your money. Their big office in California got shut down.
Oh man.
Good.
Jeez. Let's move to Capcom. Capcom Showcase. This was pretty good too. You know, I was big turnaround for Square and Capcom this year from last year, where it was just terrible last year. Now these presentations were pretty good. Go from Square, even though Sean did have to ask me if the Square presentation happened.
Yeah. What was all Final Fantasy VII stuff?
You played Remake.
I know, I beat it.
You said you love Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, but I mean, it
The
wasn't enough for me
presentation
to,
was just Final Fantasy VII.
it wasn't enough for me to sink my teeth into it.
Nah, bro, you got to simp for it.
You could have been playing Turtles while you're watching it.
It's true.
Let's gosh. Capcom. You watched Capcom though, Sean. You watched that. The Capcom.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. I don't think I was home or something.
Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak demo. It's out. Expansion's coming.
Yeah,
You going back-
Capcom
you going
was
back,
what?
Sean?
Capcom was what? Sunday?
Set. It was
Where was
yeah,
I?
No,
Monday.
Sunday was Xbox.
June 13th. Monday.
Monday. Yeah,
What was I doing Monday?
it was Monday. It was late in
I
the
just
afternoon.
blacked out on
Nothing?
your couch or something.
I don't
you
know.
got-
I didn't
you
watch
got
it though.
jealous. Yeah.
Because I remember I was looking on my phone to see what happened.
Dude, it was so good. It blew my mind.
Anyway, yeah, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak demo for it. It's out. At the end of.
I'm
end
not
of this month?
touching. Yeah, I'm not touching the demo yet. I'm just gonna wait till it's out.
That'll work. Street Fighter 6 showed off. They just showed off more Street Fighter 6. They didn't really have much else there. Guile was shown off during Summer Games Fest. They also talked about a Capcom Fighting Collection, which is out June 24th. That's the Fighting Collection. Looks pretty good, by the way. So I have a physical copy for that coming from Amazon.
Oh, it's at my grandma's house Monday. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Trailer for Capcom Arcade's second stadium, July 22nd. Then they got to
The good stuff.
Exoprimal.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, it doesn't. It looked better this time.
Okay, they
It
showed
looked
extended
stupid
gameplay.
fun.
There's extended gameplay of it that they posted up where they actually ran through one of the missions. And apparently it's your team versus another team. And occasionally you guys will cross over against large dinosaurs. And like it looks like it's just, it's horde mode going through it basically, right?
Yeah. It's like a horde mode. So it was like tower defense, horde mode, and then kill target. So like a super dinosaur you have to kill on a level.
Is it on Game Pass?
I hope so.
I don't think so. I mean, who knows? It could show up on there as we get closer to release.
I'd play it if it was on Game Pass.
Okay. Exoprimal. Well, you get to upgrade your suits and everything. It's kind of like Anthem with
Wow.
dinosaurs.
Neat.
I'm not sure I'm allowed to say this. Capcom asked me if I want to play it in like 2 weeks, so I may be making a video playing it super early. Who knows? It's gonna be like one level in one suit and one dinosaur, but we'll see. I'll probably try it out.
They did touch on the Dragon's Dogma 10th anniversary stream, which we're just gonna say they announced Dragon's Dogma 2, which was a big deal. That was in that NVIDIA leak list. By the way, that NVIDIA leak list is undefeated, and in fact, it looks like it's gonna get another one right with Tactics Ogre. But Evan, I played Dragon's Dogma a bit, but I didn't get as into it, I think, as you did.
I feel like that's the common story is I started playing it and then I stopped. I think MVG, you said that somewhere on we were talking. Yeah. It's one of those games that's hard to get into, but once you get past a certain point, you start to really see how the game works. And it is actually really good. They did just try to take way too much, I think, at the time from Demon and Dark Souls and all that to try to emulate it, and they really should have just paid attention to what the game was later as like the whole thing. But it was really cool, and since it's RE Engine, I think we saw on the trailer,
the press release had RE Engine at the bottom.
One of the big things about it is you're supposed to be able to scale on monsters and fight them kind of in their own way, like climbing on griffins that try to fly away and then hit them in the back of the head to bring them back down to the ground, stuff like that. So since it's on the RE Engine and since, you know, Monster Hunter exists, it should be pretty awesome.
Dude, hell yeah.
Okay, good. I would like to see them do a patch for Dark Arisen for Series X and PS5 to push the visual clarity up and unlock the frame rate, do all these different things, and maybe they will. I don't know. That'd be good, because you pop in the PS4 disc now for Dark Arisen and the PS5, and I think you have backwards compatible for the Xbox Series, and I think it's still capped at 30 frames, which is very weird. It's very
I'm playing it right now. As I beat it back in the day, and I don't remember it very much, and I'm playing it again. Yeah, it needs a patch.
And they did talk about Resident Evil Village DLC. Downloadable content looks really good. It's gonna be a Shadows of Rose DLC story. So we get to see Rose, who we did see at the end of Village.
The big thing here, third person.
Yeah.
Third person was pretty cool.
Actually,
I'm playing it. I can't stand RE first. I just don't like it.
I'm curious how
it's
they're
actually
do some
a Discord question. Yeah, do you think they're going back to third person mode as kind of their primary thing for the series?
No.
Of course, there should be both. It should be optional from the beginning.
Well, from they've talked, and I think MVG probably knows about this because he talks and does a lot of game dev stuff. But I heard that they said that like making the game first person required building the game so differently that they couldn't just patch third person in. It sounds like they had to pretty much remake the game for third person to work. All the animations were built to be almost simulated. So yeah, the whole game is being basically rebuilt, and it's just a part of the patch. I'm so excited.
A lot of stuff I assume you can't see around you. MVG, I'm assuming if it's first person, because like you can't see what's behind you.
I know it's getting a VR mode too, right? So I wonder if it's they added third person at the same time as the VR stuff, because VR obviously you can turn around and look behind you and everything. So I wonder if that it has a relation to the third person mode as well. So I feel like it's definitely the right approach, and I mean. I personally like first person, Resident Evil Village and Resident Evil 7. I thought they were actually really good, but I definitely will replay the games in third person.
There were some moments that I think they can only make in first person. Like there are certain parts where you're going up the elevator and like she chops off your hand, and it's like that wouldn't be as impactful if it was third person and your camera was pulled all the way back, because that was like right there. You're like, what is? Oh no!
The one people talk about. The baby eating you really affects you when it's first person, because you see its mouth. Third person, that's going to look very different.
Yeah. Well, even the stuff when you're like at the start of Village, where you're climbing through you're climbing into the sewers and stuff in the sewer area, like that's going to just look a little different, obviously, in third person than it does. It's pretty tense, when you're kind of going through the sewers because you're being chased or whatever. So I think it'll definitely have a different feel. But I think it'll still be really good.
I mean,
October 28th.
The freaking sorry, I'm still losing my mind about the DLC being so far in the future. This is the most into the future we've ever been. The Resident Evil timeline is famously slow. It takes them so long. That's why there's just like still games coming out basically in the 1990s. So this is crazy to think about it going to be in 16 years in the future. I'm deeply fascinated.
They did show
Mess, by the way.
they did show Resident Evil 4 Remake again with gameplay. It was very brief shots of gameplay though. It wasn't like, hey, let's sit down and play this. But it looks good from what I'm saying. This looks, I mean, we've talked about it before. I'm on board, ready to pick this one up. That's not till March though, so we got a bit. But definitely excited for that. And we got patches for Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 3 remakes. They're out now. If you have the games, just go on there with your PS5, your Series X, PC, I believe got a patch too, and it'll just patch and it looks better. They involved ray tracing and all these things. Some people are saying, I think Max, you mentioned it looks almost photorealistic. So
they also put in adaptive triggers on PS5, which is actually kind of interesting. So your guns actually cock and reload in a weird way. Yeah, photorealistic graphics, no load times. It's very weird to like press go on the game and you're just in it in less than a second. It's very, very fast.
This is another good presentation. They didn't announce any new games technically, but
they also said that they weren't.
Yeah,
So
see, there it is, right, Sean? That's the thing. If Xbox had said 12 months, people have been like, okay, that's how you do it. Communicate up front, and people, Resident Evil fans especially, were like, okay, cool. Dragon's Dogma fans a little nervous after this, so I'm glad that they actually followed it up with Dragon's Dogma 2.
Because that whole thing really felt unnecessary. You're right. They went in to say, hey, we have more to talk about with Dragon's Dogma, but you have to come back in a few days. Well, why don't you just do it here?
No, do you think they really just wanted
an announcement, John?
Do you think they really just wanted to give everything they had to Dragon's Dogma and be like, no, we don't want it to be next to the Resident Evil Village DLC. We want it to have its own. But what did they do with it though? When did they have it? Dragon's Dogma 2. When did they have that announcement? It was during the Final Fantasy VII remake stream.
Yeah, they do it at the exact same time where it was kind of. You could have had it at your own presentation earlier in the week. It would have got a lot of headlines. Instead, you drop it at the exact same moment that Rebirth is being announced.
I mean, more Crisis Core, obviously, but I mean, Rebirth was there too.
I thought the whole, I don't know, making it so focused on Resident Evil was great. Obviously, I'm a Resident Evil addict, but yeah, I think my only complaint is I wish we saw something new from Street Fighter 6. I'm so excited for Street Fighter 6. There's hours of gameplay that's getting posted online by YouTubers. It's weird that they just re-showed the existing trailer. It's like, they don't even show it. That was so weird to me.
So if Guile was revealed there instead of at Summer Game Fest, that would have put it over there. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's already 10 out of 10 because I'm a Resident Evil addict, but if they'd showed Guile there, that would have been the best Capcom showcase ever by far.
We have another Discord question there, Evan. We're gonna then move into some talk about PlayStation Plus, and we'll go through the super chats and everything.
Where the fuck is the Turtles talk?
Yeah.
The game of the year comes out. We're not even going to talk about it because of presentations. We spent 45 minutes on Final Fantasy VII and Sephiroth's ballsack.
Whoa,
Turtles.
it's his shaft.
Sean, go ahead.
That part of the conversation.
All right, Sean, go ahead. And wait, was one of the Discord questions about TMNT or no?
How did we get twice the content in Shredder's Revenge over Mario Strikers at half the price?
See, Sean, I was leading us there. Sean has to just ruin everything. All right, Sean, go ahead.
Game's fucking fantastic.
It is really good.
Did you order the soundtrack?
I ordered the $200 fucking thing from
Limited Vinyl.
I just have the $35 one coming.
I think it does come with a vinyl. It comes with like a strategy guide. I really want the figure because I'm into toys now. But the problem is I'm never going to open that box probably.
Oh,
I don't know.
You can't, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence about it.
Dude, open it. Open it.
I think I was going to make a video on it on like the second channel or something. But
I got a decent record player down here, man.
I beat it multiple times on the Switch. I've beat it multiple times on the Xbox. Like, it's just fucking great. Like, it's the best beat 'em up of all time.
It is really good. I am shocked. Dude, they were playing online with it. We had like a couple hiccups towards the end, but like, it plays perfectly. We're having a blast. It's like 6 players online is allowed. It's wild stuff.
Well, and people can do drop in, drop out online. So we were playing it.
Story mode and arcade.
Spawn was just playing a level. Sean jumped in. About 2 minutes later, I jumped in. So we just started playing the level, and then my girlfriend walked up and said, I want to play. So she sat down, pressed start on the second controller. It automatically made her a guest and dropped her in too. So she just played through the whole game with us. Like, it's perfect.
Just be sitting there playing playing TMNT alone. No one else is online because everyone's got to be offline, and they'll just pop in randomly. Like, who is that?
Tell the story accurately.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me that.
It's 9:30 at night. Hey, I'm gonna hop on Turtles. 10:50. Hey, we're starting now. An hour and a half went by between I'm getting on my Xbox and we're about to start the game.
It did
That's how
take
it
John
goes.
quite a while because
Well,
me and Evan were talking.
John
And
says
we
I'm
were like,
turning on the Xbox.
Yeah.
He's in like a different state and he's still driving home.
I see a lot of people think that Streets of Rage might have been better. I mean, that's fine to think that. I disagree.
wrong.
Because here's the thing. Does Streets of Rage have Mike Patton doing the theme song? Does Streets of Rage have a boss fight where fucking Wu-Tang is doing the song? Like, it doesn't.
It does not. No.
So because of that, you have to give the edge to Turtles.
I can't fight you on it.
It's literally like they said, hey, let's
The
make
main
a
issue-
game for RGT specifically for this man and do everything that he wants and make it exactly how he wants it. And that's what they did.
It's good for like you have people over for even streamers who want to play a game on stream. You can beat that game in like an hour and a half or so, and it's very satisfying because each level is like 5 or 6 minutes long. So you're constantly doing stuff. Your turtles level up. You get abilities for it. There's a lot to like about this game.
You know what's a great track in Shredder's Revenge is the level where you're in the sky when you fight Wingnut and they have the vocals.
I actually broke
Yeah.
Wingnut the first time I fought him. He just stopped attacking, and we just beat him up in a corner. It was weird.
I think one of the things I feel like this game has that it's hard to almost put into words is it has impact. When you actually hit those Foot Clan soldiers, they almost freeze for a frame before they fly back. So like it has that cartoonish style of like everybody recoils overly. So I don't know, man. It feels so good. I beat the game probably 6 or 7 times now on Xbox and PS5, and I love it.
And there's so many nods to like the previous games or the cartoons or even like little things in the background that like it's something that if you know, it makes it that much more special. If you don't know, it's like okay, it's still cool, but you don't understand it. But like, you know, when you get those things like that one boss fight that's clearly inspired by Turtles in Time, one of the classic lines from Shredder that was in Turtles in Time is now voiced in the game. Like it's the perfect combination of nostalgia, but still feels good. Because I think you could give this to a kid who maybe watches the new Turtles shit, which I can't fuck with that, but they'll still enjoy the game. They'll still like it. And in the bosses,
Batman movie wasn't that bad.
The bosses, like the bosses that they have in the game are like they're the bosses that you would hope would be in the game, but wouldn't expect them. And then like some of these characters, they pop up, even the ones that you're like, okay, there's no way this character's gonna be in it. And then they pop up and you're like, holy shit, they really put this dude in here. Like,
Well, like Ground Chuck and Dirtbag or whatever those two were.
I love Slash. I'm obsessed with Slash.
And then the one where like the video game lady, and then she has those two. It's like, wow, I didn't expect these to be in here.
Tokar and Razor.
Yeah, like just fucking awesome.
It went into Game Pass day one, so you play it on Game Pass, keep the sealed copy on the Switch. Looking good.
The problem with this game, and it's not a problem with the game, is that now I want the Cowabunga collection because I want to play Turtles in Time.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to hear Big Apple 3 a.m.
They have Big Apple 3 p.m.
Yeah, and I love that.
I need to hear it in that classic way. I need to hear that soundtrack again from Turtles
I just
in Time.
bought the fucking DVD collection of the entire fucking Turtles cartoon because I haven't seen it in forever. Came in today. I haven't watched
It's good. It's good though. It's really good. I recommend anyone pick it up. I saw some people on Twitter who were confused. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. This game's awesome.
I give it a 10.
Question.
Children.
Really confused by
if the Nintendo DS is older than you, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, dude, I gave it a 10 out of 10 in my review. Legit right now, my game of the year is Elden Ring, and then right beneath it is Turtles.
I mean, Shredder's Revenge just hit all the right notes. You can tell this was a love song by the developers. They referenced the source material well. They knew what they were creating, and even to include like the characters Sean was mentioning, like the punks. It's such an obscure reference that so many people are going to look at and say, who are these guys? Like, who's Rasputin? And it's like, we're old. We know these characters, and that's an amazing reference for the game to even acknowledge.
Yep. I'm like what I saw there while I played. I recommend anyone pick it up. It is a fun game, and you can play it, bunch of friends, couch co-op.
There is one problem with the game though, like I said in my video.
It ends.
You can't there's no like theater system. So in order to watch the intro movie again, you have to like close out of the game or just like let it sit there for very long. Just let me access it.
Do a museum mode, like museum mode kind of thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
bastard.
play the game tomorrow with my brother. So I just
It's such a small.
Oh, you're gonna
download,
like
though.
it. You're gonna like
It's
it.
like,
Yeah,
did you
I
guys?
wanted
Isn't
to
it like
wait.
less than a gig or something?
Yeah, it's like
It is 1
700
gig.
megabytes.
It's like
It's
900 some
less.
odd megabytes. Yeah. It's...
Because I grew up playing
Crazy.
those games with my brother. Like that was what.
Oh, you guys are gonna love it then.
Yeah, we just did the arcade game, even the crappy ones, the one with the where they all have the red.
Oh, yeah.
headbands, even the crappy NES one. That game
Yeah.
sucks.
Go into
man,
go into the story
played
mode. Do the story mode one. They have an overworld, but all your characters will level up and you get new abilities and
but-
everything.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have fun.
And they have secrets hidden in all the different levels. It's a blast. It only
Yeah,
takes like an hour and a half to 2 hours to beat the whole thing.
Yeah, we played Turtles in Time back in the day as well. So we always play the Turtles games. Like we always play beat ups were like the thing to play back then.
Yep.
Me and my brother always played those. So
Very,
crappy
very
ones
good
and the
game.
good ones. So I'm excited for it. So I've just been waiting and just been like, okay, I'm just gonna play this with with him. So I haven't
Very
played it
good
yet.
game.
But see, I thought one of the appeals of the story mode is that you're going to want to go through with all the characters, level them up, and
You
just
get new
play
moves.
differently because of how each character does.
That's why
feel different.
because he said he's going to play with his brother. That's why I said do the story mode because you'll both play through it as different characters on his system.
Yeah.
So you'll level up 2 different characters at the same time. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So-
I'm definitely gonna play it multiple times.
That's
I mean,
the
I
move.
beat all the Turtles beat 'em up games multiple times with each, even the crappy one on the NES. That even that one, the freaking first level, trying to swim through that.
Yeah.
place.
Like this is a game I'll play through 7 times.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Easily.
beat it with every character. I'm gonna. Have
It's
fun.
really good. Yeah. Evan, do we have Discord question over there?
Yeah. This one's mostly just would you be interested? What do you think about the idea of a Mega Man Megaverse game where all the iterations of Mega Man and Zero are fully playable?
I'll take anything Mega Man at this
Yeah, I
point.
mean, at this point
if
for you,
Capcom
it's-
will just acknowledge Mega Man. anything. If they put Mega Man 64 on Nintendo Switch Online, I'll be like, great. If they do a Mega Man Legends on the PlayStation Plus service, I'll be like, awesome. Something's happened. That's where we are with Mega Man right now. The Mega Man fandom is we're down bad. Okay, not good. Got another one, Evan?
Any suggestion for a good Android app for use at the gym? We got someone looking to track, I guess, rep sets and all that.
Pornhub. Keep the blood flowing.
Okay.
Yeah, don't do that.
Elaborate.
To track this, there's like my fitness pal. Believe it or not, if I was going to do it, I would just take a notebook and write it down.
I just use Google
I was
Docs,
about to say,
Yeah.
Google Docs
Like,
spreadsheet.
Pen and paper, bro.
I don't even take that anymore, but like back then I would have like a little journal and I'd write stuff down in. and
Apps
that
just
would work.
confuse things. Like you start trying to track
mean,
his fitness.
I used to write things down because I physically like the pen and paper. I feel like it helps me better. But I mean, you can just use your notes app on your phone too, all the same, to be honest. But
I used MyFitBod for a long time. It makes these great randomized workouts. You say what equipment your gym has and what body group you're trying to hit, like back and bicep or ab day or shoulders or whatever, and it'll generate stuff that's random. It also tracks your healing, so it'll tell you like don't hit this for a couple days or whatever. I don't know. I like it.
Okay, very good. So let's go over some of the. Actually, we're gonna do the PlayStation Plus next, and then we'll finish up with the super chats that have kind of compiled here as we've gone over everything. I do want to give a shout out though to Shamsa from the last show. She actually had donated after, like literally like 10 minutes after we went off air. So big shout out to Shamsa for always supporting. No messaging
Shamsa.
there, but
Hey, Shamsa.
definitely want to recognize Shamsa here. Let's go to the PlayStation Plus premium service. It did launch this week. And actually, quite a few of us got a chance to try it out. I saw Sean, you tried it out. Max, you tried it out. MVG, I don't know if you had a chance to look at. I know you're gonna do some emulation stuff with it at some point. I know you've been pretty busy.
I will check it out, but I haven't had a chance yet.
Get
Okay.
it together.
But I've heard good
MVG.
things.
Yeah.
Been moving for like 7 years now.
But
I'm gonna move
Either
to
way,
your
we
house next week.
we did.
Come through.
We did have it launch in the US, and surprisingly, it seems to be good news all the way around. Just about like it is 60 hertz versions. Emulation looks good. They run well. The PS1 games are solid.
It's a really good groundwork. You know, obviously, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, Game Pass has more games. It's like, well, yeah, no shit. Game Pass has been around longer. You would expect it to have more games. As long as they can continually update it. Obviously, the PS1, PS2, and PSP is very neglected on there right now. They need to add some more stuff for those systems. But as far as, and I'm not a huge fan of the menu system. It's very clunky to try and find games. They need to sort of separate it, like PS1, PS2, PSP, PS3, PS4, PS5. You just have like little tiles that you click on or something. But I think it's a really solid groundwork, and I took my L on that. I thought it was going to be the 50 hertz versions, and then I was like, well, fuck.
What's interesting, Sean, you mentioned that PlayStation Now had that. You would go in there and you'd be able to pick between, like, they had like PS3 and PS2, I think, separated, and you could pick either one. So I think they will do that eventually. I think that will happen though. PS1, PSP, PS2, all that stuff. So it just seems to be taking some time for them, I guess, to roll that kind of stuff out, I hope. But yeah, they need to load up PS1 and PSP especially. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
They said like what, the middle of the month is when you're going to get the classics updated, and the start of month is when they add the modern stuff. So I mean, that's it's a roadmap. Some companies don't give you a roadmap. You just kind of got to stick your finger up your ass and guess when the next game is going to come out. So
I have to do that, or I get to do that?
No, you have.
I don't know if that's a requirement. I don't.
It's in the.
What do you mean, Sean?
terms.
We just got Pokemon Snap announced.
Yeah, but I mean,
last one too. Something was coming.
I don't think you do. I think
Ape
you're
Escape
doing that on your own.
looks good. Ape Escape looks very good. I was playing it. I'm like, all right, this is. Did you put it in the native resolution? You could pick like the native option. It's this tiny square on your flat screen. It's like, that's the resolution.
Did you mess with the craziest thing about this to me of playing this on a big screen is that it does seem like they cleaned up the character models and stuff. It's not like, because the PlayStation Classic, remember when we bought the PlayStation Classic, it seemed to try and like simulate CRT, so the games kind of look like ass.
Well, I think that just ran at 720p. I think was the issue.
Oh yeah. This looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been playing that Hot Shots Golf. Hot Shots Golf looks surprisingly great.
And you can buy most of them separately. I don't think you can buy Tekken 2 separately, which is weird. And I do have kind of an issue with Resident Evil Director's Cut. It doesn't have trophies, and I think that's the same case where you can't buy it separately. You have to sign up to do it, which is unfortunate.
PS1 game doesn't have trophies. Interesting.
Yeah, some don't. Well, but what's interesting is that people checked there was a later version, the early version of Resident Evil Director's Cut actually had glitched music in certain sections. This is the correct best final version. So it seems like Capcom submitted what they knew was the best PlayStation 1 version. And honestly, it's cool.
I think the PlayStation Extras tier is the one to go with if you just bought a PS5 and you're trying to figure out what to get. So the selection for those games is actually pretty good. Demon's Souls, Spider-Man Miles Morales is in there. Returnal is in there. I feel like we're going to get to a point where Horizon Forbidden West could be in there next year. So you start to kind of pile up some of the games as you go. And the selection's pretty good from first party and third party. Like I was actually kind of surprised with some of the stuff in there at that $100 a year price. It's not bad considering games now are $70. So
they got a ton of Assassin's Creed in there, like Valhalla. Valhalla is still pretty dang new, and I played that free on my PlayStation 5 with it.
Yeah, so I think even if, like, for example, you get like someone gets a PS5, whether it's like kid or something for Christmas, something like that, right? Birthday. If you're a parent, you could easily throw this extras tier to them, and they'd probably find all kinds of stuff on there to play and keep them busy. Or if you're someone, like I said, who just wants to get into the PS5 ecosystem and take a look around, pick that up and see what you think, because there's quite a bit of stuff in there. Yeah, definitely. It would have saved Sean some money on Demon's Souls.
Right.
I'm actually pretty excited to see what PS1 games and PS2 games they tap for this.
Same. I do wish that they had fun filters for PS2. There's no filters on the games.
The PS2 is interesting because they're like kind of porting them to the PS4. It's
I guess
yeah.
So they're all widescreen so far. They all have trophy support. So PlayStation 2.
They could do some interesting stuff with that. And like I said, even if you don't want to subscribe, you can buy them. So if some cool stuff starts showing up, maybe they get like Star Ocean or something, I don't know, for the PS2. Just some weird stuff.
Dino Crisis is leaked, dude. Dino Crisis 1 on there. I mean, I'd make a video alone if just reviewing Dino Crisis again. So
I think it's a service to watch even if you're not subscribed, because you might just want to buy the game. So it's good. There's incentive for them to put PS1 games out there at this kind of quality. So I like what they've started with. I don't know if I can suggest the premium tier now at 120 because that PS1 and PS2 selection is a little rough currently, but who knows, a year from now might be worth it. We'll see. But they got to get on the ball with that PS1 stuff and PSP especially. Like, they got to get those games out. But pretty good selection. So.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised, honestly. I was expecting to rip it apart, and I was like, oh, wow, it's actually pretty solid.
Yeah. Like I said, the biggest option is that you can just buy the games. So,
Which I think people should do. I went through and tested literally every game on the service, and I mean, I think if you're curious, it's definitely better to just get deluxe or the extra tier and then buy the one or two.
the weird
Because
part
nobody
was,
gives jumping flash. Nobody gives a shit.
yeah, if you already bought the game too previously on the PS3, it carries over to here. So that was a little surprising as well. So, but overall, good start. Good start. Let's go over these super chats. Zoob says, "Sincerely, I never expected Xbox to impress me." So, okay. Tijo says, "Am I the only one who's noticed oddities with PS1 games? There's no controller options, which means no switching controller ports. Metal Gear Solid. I think that's one of the reasons Metal Gear Solid isn't there right now. Because
I think there's lots of other reasons why.
well,
it's not there right now.
one is Konami. I'd like to think that they're planning something for Metal Gear, but that's Konami, so who knows?
But
But yeah, that'd be an issue.
Didn't Metal Gear Solid end up on the PlayStation Classic?
It did, yeah. But it had an ability to map buttons and choose slots and stuff.
I mean, you could just unplug the controller and plug it in the controller slot too on that thing. So I like there's kind of an issue now. Otherwise, they'd have to work out. This is from David says, "I can't believe Square stole the Newswave format." Console says, "I'll be at too many games next weekend, and my only goal is to get RE2 and 3 for GameCube." I did that last year, actually.
Pricey.
Yeah, I think they've gone up in price since I even got them at too many games. I thought I was paying too much then.
What'd you pay?
I think one was 80 and one was 90.
Yeah, they're triple digits now. Easy.
Yeah, that ain't bad actually. 80-90 is good.
I had to kind of work a deal on it, but yeah, that wasn't bad then. So
Like, do you know who I am, motherfucker? I will bury you.
I had to like make piles of games. I got some comments thrown in there, and you divide it up, then it came out to that.
You just showed him your analytics, and he's like, "All right,
yes,
let's make a deal."
Yeah.
Hit him with the silver play button.
They'll say, "I'll be at your guys' panel, but I don't think I'll do the meet and greet since I'm kind of socially awkward. You come out and see us, Console Gamer. We'll be around.
Yeah, and if you don't want to talk or if you just want to pick or whatever, we people have come through our line, just waved at us and taken a pic. You don't have to talk to us or like if you just want to hang out, man.
You can come talk to me, Console Gamer. I'm there.
Yeah.
Absolutely no pressure. You can tell the rest of us to F off and take a picture with just Spawn, and we'll be like,
Some
okay.
did.
People would do it. People would walk past all of us and go, "Hello, Spawn," wave, and then leave. And it's like, okay, bye.
Okay.
You can say hi to everyone.
Listen. If you're worried about people thinking that you're weird, we had a whole family bring a shirtless pic for John to sign.
Shout out to that family.
They could be listening.
Hey,
Yes.
that's a cool
Just
family.
saying, we remember you, mother, father, son, and daughter, all at once. It was quite the sight to behold. So
I'm glad I have a picture of that. I took a picture of you signing a shirtless picture of yourself just for the memories.
Pretty meta.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very meta.
This is Glenn saying, "Who in Spawncast going to TMG next weekend?" And shout out as always to Evan for all his hard work getting Spawncast going.
It's also a Discord question, so that ends us. Nice.
Oh, cool. Is that just that? Who's going to be at TMG?
Yeah.
Okay.
Less work for me.
I'll be there. Definitely there.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Yeah. OJ?
Be there. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yay.
OJ will be there. Okay, cool.
Jordan will be there.
Jordan will be there. Max will be there. Dreamcast guy. Evan will be there.
Nate will probably be there. No one of us will know though. So.
I could be there. Probably won't be there, but if I am there, you won't know I'm there. So
Sean's not going.
Nope.
No reason.
Why
Just not going.
aren't you going?
Now I got some. Well,
Because it's outside.
Okay. Hold on. Explain this.
I have family
Zoom
stuff
in.
going on, but now something else came up that I might have to cancel the family stuff.
Something more important than
important,
hanging
Right,
out.
so
Yep.
who is she? What's her name?
No. He has to
no.
go. He has to go.
Madison.
He has to go talk about an underperforming basketball team.
Yeah, her name is
On
Madison.
television.
yeah, on MSG Network.
Wait, so you'll cancel the family stuff for TV, but you won't cancel it for us?
Because that's like an hour train ride. I walk upstairs, I film whatever they want to film.
to Pennsylvania.
3 hours. And then you have to stay multiple days. This is like a 3 hour total thing.
Dude,
3-hour tour.
TMG is awesome, dude. If you come to
MSG is
TMG,
awesome.
it's memories.
It'll be on television.
He picks sports over his fans.
TV is a fart.
Sean's
Ghost.
3-hour tour.
MVG's not going to be there.
He's moving.
Because he has moving for the next 6 months.
2020.
Yeah, it's taking a while.
He's building the house.
Dude, I was cleaning for like 2 or 3 months.
we said it before you came in.
His move is taking as long as OJ's room clean.
I had to make sure everything was clean, bro.
Ghost Sniper followed up saying damage control. The leaks rumors ban Nate. Cope.
What?
Hope. I love that.
Cope, Nate.
Cope.
And see,
Look what you did, MVG.
The Uncharted Wolf says playing through Danganronpa, and I found it physically hard to play because of how sad I get each session. Anyone else have games like this? It's hard to play because it's so sad.
They're not real. So no.
I haven't had so sad. I have had games that grossed me out or were too scary. I play a lot of horror games, but occasionally games that have too many jump scares actually just fuck with my brain after a bit.
RC says, love the show. Keep up the great content. And by the way, RGT, did you know that Fire Emblem and Xenoblade are the Nintendo reps in Project X Zone 2?
great. It's a great game.
Mac Mega says Game Freak should stop making Pokemon games since we get them every year and make a brand new Golden Sun instead. RGT Logic.
Ugh.
RGT Logic.
Didn't
I love
it Kembo, the badass elephant?
They did.
Yeah. Get a sequel to that.
That's a good idea for business.
I love when people make something up and go, "You said this." Like Sean said this shit. I love it.
This is from Ghost Sniper says, "Don't worry, Nate. Grubb and Nick took an L as well." Joe says, "Fire Emblem is my all-time favorite Nintendo franchise, and I think RGT is right. I want a new Fire Emblem, but F-Zero Star Fox fans are still waiting."
What does that have to do with Fire Emblem? That's what I want to know.
Okay.
What does that have to do with Fire Emblem? I want a new Star Fox. I want a new this. What does that have to do with Fire Emblem? Can somebody explain that to me?
This is the meth zone.
Everything.
It's nothing to do with Fire Emblem. You can get guys.
You can get
all
both.
that. You can get both. If you go back to the Wii, there was a Punch Out, there was a Fire Emblem, there was a Xenoblade, there was a Donkey Kong. There was all sorts of stuff, guys. Different development teams. Different.
Man,
You're
I miss
right,
the good
Grub.
old days.
You're right, Grub.
We talked about we actually talked about this, Trev, but what do we make of Starfield not being able to go from planet to space seamlessly? That's a shame, as it ruins the immersion.
I was a little bummed by that. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Scott says, is Nintendo ever going to start putting more effort into Mario Sports series? These half-baked releases are seeing diminishing returns because people are getting wise to it, in my opinion. I do kind of wonder if people are starting to figure this out. I don't know. We got to see the NPD results on it, but first two sales reports weren't great for Strikers. So I don't know if it's a Strikers brand or if it's just people realizing.
I'm looking at the sales. Japan Strikers has never sold well in Japan, just in general. Compared to the Mario Sports games, the Mario Sports games sold much better. But on Amazon and it's number one on the eShop, and on Amazon it's in the top. It's like top two, so people are still buying it. I'm guessing it's still going to sell just about as good as any other Mario.
I was
Sports
surprised it didn't outsell tennis or golf in the UK. Like that should have been a slam dunk there, but it came up short of both of them.
Is anybody going to make the "it struck out" joke?
I think this one's going to perform less than golf, and I think it's going to perform less than tennis.
Well, you see, the thing with Strikers is it might get a boon when the World Cup happens in December.
I could see that, yeah. Yep.
I don't think it will.
No. Well, Nintendo could do some like couldn't they do something in Mario Strikers like that has
put
Listen,
Ronaldo
man.
in the game? I mean, unless they put a real like
they could do logos or
soccer
something,
player in there,
jerseys.
it's not gonna.
You put Pepe in and he bites players.
Oh my god.
That's
Listen, people are just waiting for Daisy, man.
Suarez. He's the one that
You know what?
plays.
Where's Daisy?
Daisy's gonna be ready magically ready 3 weeks after launch. It's a miracle.
Yeah. Where's Daisy?
Right.
And somehow they made everything line up. I couldn't believe it. Someone came in and like just solved the ridiculous equation on the chalkboard, and then Daisy was ready.
Was
It's like, wasn't it already at launch?
Onto the headbutt.
Already, and they
Advent
held her
again.
back now.
I mean,
headbutts his own
but
player
to
in the
Nate's
game.
point, all it takes is like Messi to do a Strikers ad or something for the World Cup.
Yeah, you had Otani do MLB The Show, so if
Wait,
they
hold
can go out and get
on.
a
Wait. The way we get Strikers to sell is by having Messi in a commercial, not
Yes.
by adding content to Strikers.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
Don't expect more from
I think
people.
he'll be just fine. I think once the MPD comes out,
Tremendous disappointment from Strikers for me. Tremendous.
I want to fail.
I still play it at night,
game.
by the way.
In the
I
dark,
still play it.
thinking your
The other
dark
day, it
thoughts.
took me a long time to find a match, and I was like, "Oh no, is everyone done with it?" And eventually popped up. I was like, oh, "Okay, good." I was like, I can't find a match right now." I hope they got something figured out. I hope so. I do think that World Cup collaboration would be a good idea, though. MG, Nate, I think that'd be a good idea. This is from David saying, "Shout out to my two favorite Black creators, OJ and Nate."
Wow. Snubbed.
You're black?
You told me Italians.
No, they were regarded similar in American history.
Well, Italian is what I'm going by now.
Okay.
Nate, the fuck you talking about?
No. Nate's correct. Nate's correct. In the early like 1900s, there was like shades of white is what they're considered. So like Italians couldn't vote and shit. It was weird.
Oh, you mean okay? You guys are talking about
Yeah, 150 years ago. Yeah.
What history books y'all looking at? All right, we'll have to talk about that later.
One's written by Italians.
We'll talk about that later, but it's all good.
Looney says,
now.
been trying to guess how Atlas is going to troll Switch users this time. My guess is they'll release P3, P4, and P5 base version as cloud versions. Yeah, we joked about that. Khalil says, do you think part 2 is going to PC sooner than part 1, or do you think it's going to take a year? Probably like a year, I think. David says, PSP pickings are sparse on PlayStation Plus. Hope that changes. Yes, there's a lot of games they can pull from PSP. Absolutely. Noah says, finally got my PS5 for retail price. What games would you recommend I start with? Also, happy Father's Day to all the dads in Spawncast. I enjoyed Horizon Forbidden West quite a bit. I put over 50 hours into it. I 100% recommend that game. For a more recent game.
Get that PS Plus and check out Returnal and Miles Morales and
that might be
Demon
the better way to
Souls.
spend the money right now.
I would say just jump on that, get a month's worth, and see what you think.
That's a good idea.
Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and Miles Morales playing back to back. Those games are just 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, if you just throw the money into PlayStation Plus extras, you'd be able to just kind of test out some of the games, and then even cancel after that month, and then just go buy them if you want to do it that way. But definitely a lot of stuff on there to check out. Wall says, unpopular opinion, but Final Fantasy VII isn't very good. I actually think it's the second worst of the first 9. Absolutely love. Above only 2, 6 is criminally neglected. I'd agree with you on 6. I don't know if I'd agree with you on 7 not being very good. 7's still up there in like the top tier of Final Fantasy games, I'd say.
Yeah, good at super deep magic system, great soundtrack. Even if you don't like the story, 7 is a freaking masterpiece.
The story's good though. Like the story's good.
I think some people don't like that each character has their own redemption. Like, you know, like Red 13's got to have a redemption, and then Sid's got to have a redemption, and then Aerith. Like, I understand that complaint.
I think it's gotten better over time.
At the time,
I love it.
Nobody said that this game sucks. This is terrible.
No.
game.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
think this is definitely like a revisionist type. Of, well, now that I
thought it was incredible. Like, what is this?
But nobody said that back then. It was like one of a kind. There was nothing else on the market like it. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
I replayed it over and over and over again for years.
On a Ship says, TMNT Shredder's Revenge for Beat 'em Up Game of the Year. Also, RGT85, when are you going to have player essence on Who the F is on your second channel?
Oh, yeah, I do need to do another one of those sometime soon. OJ,
Good time now.
What are you doing next week?
I'm around.
All right, I'll hit you up.
All right.
Devolve into 3 hours about Fire Emblem and Xenoblade.
The debate.
No, we try not to talk about video games there.
Oh, that's right. That's
Every
right.
one that I've watched has always been
That's
not
right.
about video games.
Good. I'll talk to you about movies. Let's do it.
D'Angelo says, I respect RGT, but I hate agreeing with him, but he is right. I need something different than Fire Emblem and Xenoblade. This is coming from a JRPG fan.
Thank you,
I
Deanne.
swear, you guys are the weirdest people. They have not. If you guys do not understand that Nintendo has multiple different development teams, I don't know what to tell you guys. You get other stuff outside of Fire Emblem and Xenoblade. There really is. Like, so I don't understand.
David,
Let them complain, OJ. Just let them complain. They do that a lot.
This is the dumbest argument I've ever heard in my life. It really is the dumbest argument that I've ever heard in my life. Like, it's so stupid.
David says, if you could have your current career during any era of gaming, which one would you choose? What games would you be most excited to stream /cover? Ooh.
But
I mean,
blow
Dreamcast
people's
era.
mind making YouTube
Yeah, obviously
videos
for
during the
Max.
Atari age.
The
I mean,
Atari age.
I would say late 90s, early 2000s, but you also have to factor in technology wasn't there for doing this.
Let's just say we could. Let's just say you could do it.
But then you have to
YouTube was this amazing thing that somebody came up with, and like
you would have to completely transform video games as well, because then there would be online video games. So you'd be adding in online to pretty much every game, making it different.
My thing is that I think their question is like, if I was doing the equivalent job, which would have been like a magazine reviewer or a content reviewer, like
popular for you or something.
Dude, I think not only was Dreamcast, like obviously I love the Dreamcast a lot, but I thought a lot of those games, there was a lot of hidden gems like Silver, like, and people talking about it more. You know, I think it would have been cool to review those games as they were coming out.
What's Silver Hidden Gem?
I loved it, dude. I loved the freaking crazy loud voice acting.
That time between like
Jeff Grubb is
1990
being racist.
that time between like 1995 and 2003, that seems like that would be
That
really
would be
cool
the
8
best,
years to
yeah.
cover. That'd be amazing to see, because you'd be covering PlayStation breaking onto the scene. You talk about Sega struggling, coming out with an awesome machine and then folding, and then the original Xbox coming in, and there was just a lot of stuff happening, a lot of new companies showing up, and Nintendo rolling through with their 64 and eventually GameCube. And what an
Dude,
interesting time.
imagine during the experimental era of Square Enix, like imagine being like the RPG guy and having to review Parasite Eve and Brave Fencer Musashi and Final Fantasy VIII all back to back.
Well, also think about you'd be covering this breakout thing that changed gameplay completely, being the analog stick.
Yeah,
Technology and all these systems coming and going, and it was a different time. It's a time that will never be duplicated.
That would be really cool. That's the time I'd want to cover. Yeah. This is from Lemstar saying, okay, when there's a game RGT wants to talk about, everyone else reclines their chair and falls asleep.
Yeah, right. Like these
Everyone
bums have recliners. I'm the only one with a recliner.
I got one.
Yeah,
Dude, I got
chair
freaking.
reclines. What are we
It's
talking
got
about?
legs. It's got legs. It's got legs. So your legs are supported. Oh, my legs are supported. I can take a nap.
I've got an ottoman under my table. I can just pick up.
I don't have the leg support. No.
Leg
And it's
support,
dramatic
baby.
as all get out. My God.
you could definitely tell that Sean never leaves his house because his house is his kingdom.
It is.
I don't have leg support now. This is from
You can hear the chair creak.
Ruffle says where the F is Final Fantasy 9 love.
We love, yeah.
Probably because
FF9
it's another
is
Fire
great.
Emblem game.
About that.
Well, the rumor is we're getting a Final Fantasy 9 anime soon and a Final Fantasy 9 remake.
Yeah, apparently there's some
Nine's
closed door
coming.
testing on that. So yeah.
Nine's coming, boys and girls.
Matt Newey says watch Tifa be the one to bite the bullet.
I think, yeah, maybe.
Ooh. Dark Dream says Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Yes, Pokemon Gen 9 as well. Frontier, Sega has a wealthy history of wildly stupid decisions, and I'm not sure the future of 3D Sonic games with Sonic Team and Silent Hill. I don't care.
I don't know, Frontiers is looking kind of looking a little bit better.
Joe says I don't know if 9/11 was the analogy I would use. Yeah. Yeah. Eric
I
says-
do it. It's for Spawncast clips. That's what Twitter account. I gotta bait it.
Eric says MVG with PS5 and of course Xbox games coming to PC moving forward. Besides emulation for Nintendo, will PS4 and Xbox One emulation be the last for emulation for Sony and Microsoft past consoles?
No, I think they'll continue if there's a way to do it.
Okay. Monroe says you see Rodecaster Pro 2 dropped. Go to XLR replacement. Did not see that. Rodecaster Pro 2.
It's a little more expensive, but
Yeah. Pretty penny.
I think it's like $100 more almost.
Ooh. Steve says anybody enjoying Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge? Definitely not Sean. Edward says don't underestimate the power of Bethesda. Fallout 4 made $750 million and 12 million copies in the first 24 hours. Starfield on Game Pass will be huge. Oh, I don't doubt that. I think a lot of people are going to download it on Game Pass.
No, we were saying the opposite. We said it's probably gonna be really popular and people are gonna play the hell out of it.
Dream says, has anyone noticed that Nate sounds like Ethan Winters from Resident Evil 7 and Village? It's kind of crazy. Thank you all.
Joey Ramone.
What?
William says
he doesn't sound like Ethan that much. But
William even talk?
He does, yeah.
Well, yeah, he does. Yeah. William says, do you think
Well, aside from And
No, he says stuff. He says stuff
He
like
says
his
some stuff.
sisters. And yeah,
he talks
Yeah.
a lot in
Yeah.
8 in Village.
He
I
insults
don't
quite a few people
remember
in
him
that
talking
game.
in that game.
You just
No,
don't
he-
see his face. I
he
think
throws
that's
some
what's
language
little,
around in
like,
that
you
game.
know, you don't see his face. Like, you know, they don't ever directly show his face.
So you're saying I am Ethan?
Yes.
Yes.
William says, do you think Sony expected Last of Us 2 to sell more than 10 million that they just announced? I remember Jim not happy with 20 million for other games. Do you see Sony shifting types of games they specialize in? I think Sony's just going to continue bringing more and more games to PC. Mostly. That's for a game like Last of Us Part 2, I mean, 10 million for a game like that, like a hard mature rating, I think that's actually pretty good. But it's definitely a downturn from the first one. The first one sold much more than that.
But it was
So-
also bundled with PS4s and given away for like
Yeah, I guess that's
promotions
true.
and-
I guess that's true.
and stuff like that. But I mean, I think that they probably wanted it to probably keep its value longer. I don't know if they're upset about that, but like keeping its value because it's like
Yeah.
$10. Like you can get it for like $10,
Right.
Like Best Buy, or
And that, obviously they're
know.
spinning out. They're doing a multiplayer for it. It does sound like Naughty Dog's working on a new IP as well. So they'll just keep making new intellectual properties. They're very good at that.
It's
So
another controversy. It's not. It's It's not too bad. I'm pretty sure they made a ton of money. So
10 million's pretty good for when a game selling 10 million copies is usually pretty good. So yeah, I don't think there's any issues over there with Sony. I will say though, I think they want to be able to consistently put out a 20 million unit seller. So go to PC. Venom says the return of Gore Magala is extremely hype, and the introduction of Epsinus mean frontier monsters are now on the table. The future is bright. Ray Monster Hunter. Xbox Lost PlayStation 1 says, why was Mario late to his court hearing? His cart got towed.
TOAD.
Yeah.
good one.
That was
Okay.
pretty good. Edward says,
That is
my
a
only-
joke.
My only real critique is replace the smaller games like Lightyear Frontier and Gunfire Reborn, etc., with more interesting games like Warhammer Dark Tide, Valheim, Planet of Lana, etc. That was shown at Summer Games Fest. Nerd says, what are some great Diablo clones to pass the time until Diablo 4 comes out?
Titan Quest.
Torchlight.
If you
Torchlight's
yeah,
one.
Torchlight 1 or 2, and then there's a game that came out that's
Grim
it's called like Wolves of Midgard. Yeah,
Midgard.
Grim Dawn, but that's a little bit more future. Alienation plays just like Diablo, same loot system, but you have laser beams and you fight aliens.
Ooh, okay,
Well, Grim,
okay.
if I'm not mistaken, Grim Dawn's literally made by one of the original guys that worked on Diablo 2, and it
Oh,
runs
yeah,
in a lot
yeah.
of the same systems.
Shout out to Graham. No message here. Just want to recognize Graham here. Lucius says a lot of Xbox's big AAA backups like Stalker 2, Atomic Heart, Replace, etc., all impacted by the war in Ukraine and all had delays because of it. Yeah, Replace looked really good. Unfortunately, I had to get pushed next year. And then Stalker 2, which they did a very good video about all of that to give some backstory, and they showed some gameplay for it. But Stalker 2 is shaping up to look pretty good, I would say, right now. And so is Replaced. Replaced is probably one of the most unique looking games I've seen in a while that's coming up next year. So, like I said, 2023. I think that's going to be a big year for Xbox going forward. So. Cleo says, in my opinion, PC is the correct way to play Monster Hunter Rise, but at this point, I'm just waiting for Monster Hunter World 2. Victor says, playing Guardians of the Galaxy and Square really fumbled the bag. It's such an amazing game and I need more. Sad that we probably won't get a sequel. That's actually going to be up to Embracer Group. They have the deal for that now, so we'll see. Jonathan says, what video editing software do you guys use? We use Premiere.
Yep.
Evan and
I
Premiere.
don't speak for me, sir.
No, I was saying Evan and I use Premiere.
Movie Maker was yours, I think. RGT. Or?
Power director.
Power Director.
That's right. There we
Power
go.
director as well.
Thank you.
I don't even know what the hell that is. I've never heard of that.
Back like 7 years ago when I decided to stop using Windows Movie Maker, I found a torrent for this, and so I just downloaded it and I learned how to use it, and then I just ended up buying it.
Shout out to Mystic Ryan in the chat over there. This is from Jordan saying Nintendo stopped production of the Switch Pro to focus on Fire Emblem and Xenoblade.
It's not wrong.
Logical answer right there. Logical answer. Exo says, ooh, Dreamcast guy, the Sony shill. Max, you chilling Sony over there?
Yeah, I wish, man. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Maybe I should stop saying I like Redfall. People keep saying I want Xbox to fail. And I'm like, okay, well, I should stop playing their games all day then, I guess.
Agreed.
Callan says didn't want Strikers because Mario Golf and Switch Sports felt like a ripoff. Switch Sports was lower than like the full price though. I think that was pretty fun. But the bowling's on there. Mario Golf though, I can't deny that.
Yeah.
Some of the sports games in general, they just give it a year and then see where it is. That's what I tell people with the sports games right now. Sean says Spawnwave posting thirst trap workout pics on Twitter. When's the OnlyFans dropping? Lucas says, is it just me or Genesis might be in Rebirth due to the title color being Genesis red? I do.
Sega Genesis? That would be awesome if they put it in there.
My God.
I'll defeat you with the ultimate power of blast processing.
There we go.
I do kind of think Genesis is going to be in. I think it might be one of the
Genesis
big reveals is that Genesis will be a big part of Rebirth. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
And we know he's alive.
I mean,
we know
I'm
he's alive.
surprised they're getting Phil Collins to, reunite with the group.
D'Angelo says, with my previous comment, I'm talking frequency. It feels like we are getting those like every year now. I know they have multiple studios. Talking about Fire Emblem and Xenoblade.
But we're not.
1, 2, 3, 4. How many Xenoblades got on the Switch? 4? That'll be 4.
But
3.
we get a million Marios. We get Zelda. We get why Xenoblade, and like that's the dumb part.
I don't know. Can Nintendo just like Can Nintendo like tap Capcom and make a Mega Man game with them? I'll take 18 Xenoblades in a generation for that.
We got a bunch of Kirby games. We got a bunch of Pokemon games. We got a lot of stuff. Like,
Yum says, I just bought a white DSi that comes with games for $70, paid it, and got a free Pokemon Soul Silver Complete in box and picked it up. What? That's all. What? Complete in box, Soul Silver. That's a lot. That's an expensive game.
Right, good deal.
Let's oh gosh. Necro says, why can't I see MVG's beautiful bald head? Saturday ruined. Love you, MVG. No disrespect.
Show it.
Show us the
he's
tip.
not performing bear. Leave him alone.
No.
Let him relax, y'all.
You take off your hat, I'll take off my hat. That's the deal.
No stripping. Leave him alone.
Donovan says, Power Director. That's the funniest thing ever.
What's the It's a quality program.
Power Director 3. I got the 365, the subscription service. That thing is legit. It's really good.
I'm gonna move over to Streamlabs to check that, but let me go around here as we finish up RGT. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on RGT85. Go watch my Turtles video. I may be doing a giveaway of sorts, an actual giveaway, not a fake me doing it. I'm probably gonna steal one of Spawnwave's video titles tomorrow.
Which one?
You'll see. I already know that's not what you're making tomorrow because you already talked about what you're making tomorrow. So, yeah, happy Father's Day. Yeah, see, I'm not. You think I'm talking about Final Fantasy tomorrow?
Probably.
Unless you're trying to put people to sleep, like
no.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, happy Father's Day.
Okay.
Fuck off.
Let me.
No, you made it awkward. I was trying to be nice.
Shamsa did say OJ says what's up. That was her message here. Yeah. Liam says, do you think Mario Kart can encounter a similar problem many people feel the next Smash will encounter, where the overabundance of content after the DLC's completion may make it impossible to do, and may the next installment feel underwhelming?
I'm still waiting for Fire Emblem Kart. That's the new one.
They could appear in the next
Bloodborne
Mario
Kart.
Kart. You might have
I think that's how you do it, right? You just do Mario Kart Ultimate. It just has characters from all over Nintendo and third parties. You just
Pretty
throw them all
much.
in there.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Sean
Crom
might
and
fix that.
Marth and Roy.
Sean, when they announced that remake of the RE4 remake, that will get you excited. I know that'll be very exciting for you.
My favorite part is that there's another Fire Emblem game that's coming, Sean.
Yep.
I'm so happy. It's gonna be really funny. You got to say something about it on Twitter too.
I will.
There's actually a couple, so.
Oh, it gets better.
Yeah, it gets even better.
He's
Make
got a
the
couple.
draft
Just the
tweet.
one that's rumored right now. There's also a remake after that one.
They're remaking.
Awesome.
They're
Can't
remaking
wait.
Fire Emblem
4.
Tell me there's another one after that.
Genealogy of the
They're
Holy
remaking
War.
Genealogy.
Yeah.
Tell me there's more. Is there another one?
Yeah,
Yes.
actually.
Oh,
Is there a
finally.
pachinko
Thank
machine?
God.
You know,
Thank God.
I think they're all planned for Switch. So
God is good, man. What can you say?
just every year, it's just Fire Emblem.
Xenoblade Fire Emblem
Fire Emblem.
crossover? Can we just do that to fill the gap in between Xenoblade and Fire Emblem.
Fireblade.
This will be Sean's malding arc. So
True.
You can always make a bet with another game sales, and you can play Fire Emblem if you don't win.
I play Fire. I don't dislike Fire Emblem. I don't dislike Xenoblade. I don't know why people think that.
Hater.
You know what? We've been talking about there being a new Mario baseball game, but we need to work on sales being up for that. Maybe Fire Emblem baseball. Maybe like
Xenoball.
like that Xenoball.
No.
I will use the Monato's power to guess your pitch with Monato's power.
That actually sounds
Yo, if you could slow down the pitch with the Monato.
Yeah. Use the
I
Monato.
didn't even say Monato right.
No time.
Monato.
Is that how it sounds?
You're not even saying it right.
The way the balls hit.
Monato.
Monato. There we go. MG got it.
Just,
All right, just end the show right there.
Justin
I'm
Time
about
says
to.
the new trailer for Jordan Peele's Nope spoiled too much in my opinion. I'm afraid it might hurt my enjoyment of the film.
I don't think it spoiled it.
What's a video game where you felt the advertising gave away too much, dampening your experience once you get to play it? No leaks.
What was wasn't there a game where it showed the ending in the trailer? And nobody realized it until
Final Square Enix's trailers always do this.
Yeah, Babylon's Fall did it. Now that once I beat Babylon's Fall, I was like, wow, they pretty much just went, here's the whole story, including the plot twist.
FF7 Remake, they showed the last boss fight in the final trailer.
They did, yeah.
Huh? Did they?
Yeah. Go watch.
Yeah.
Don't ever watch Square. Like, whenever they do final trailer for
They kind of
any
do
of
that a
their
lot,
games,
don't they?
don't watch them. Don't watch
To be honest, like unless it's like I guess a series I really kind of trust the trailers with, like the Zelda team, I'm okay with and stuff. I don't know. I just don't watch a lot of trailers. I think movies have spoiled it for me for the most part.
Didn't Fallen Order have an advertisement that gave away the ending or something?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't.
But do you know? Do you know that it's being spoiled, or would you rather have it like Last of Us 2, where they flat out just like change things?
Square Enix, it's not good what Square Enix does. It's only the final trailers though. Everything else is fine until their final trailers. They're great trailers, but a little bit too much with some of them. Not crazy.
Jordan Peele knows what he's doing with his trailers.
Because even if he won a championship, he knows what he's doing too.
Even shut up. Even if I don't know why I was thinking basketball. Even if you look at all of his trailers for previous movies and what they've shown, the ending has never been. It's never been about what you expected it to be. That's what makes his movies brilliant. So I don't think you've been spoiled. I think that's just the cover to make you think that you're going to be spoiled.
40 chess.
40.
Yeah.
Claire says, hey, I hope you're having a good night. Can't wait till they announce the new Super Mario spinach in the Nintendo Direct.
Spinach?
It says, Anthony says, it feels like the next gen games we've been waiting for are finally coming, especially next year. Looks crazy. I don't think I'll have anything left in my wallet next year except for a picture of Misclick.
I'm sorry, what? Hold on. I'm sorry, what?
I hit more when I'm going through this because I was like, oh, okay.
I'm sorry, what?
Is that the joke? Because the time I showed, I still have a picture of Misclick in my wallet.
Yeah. It's because of that, yeah.
Oh god! But I still have it in here.
That was funny because I click more when I'm going through it. That was funny, but I don't think game stores accept that.
Got that fucking picture.
I keep just like tattoo business cards and old arcade stuff. Here's a Shinra business card where I poorly wrote the word Max on it. I don't know. I keep everything in my wallet forever.
Hey, I'm just saying right now, if y'all threw away my Polaroids I took with you, I'm judging you.
Here's a
expired Polaroid camera.
Oh, they're
Mate.
trendy now.
Oh, now it's the new
I have
hipster thing.
I have a whole album of everybody I take pictures with.
We got to take a new one this year. The way I can update this.
I'm down.
Your wallet.
I didn't even know they still made Polaroids.
Yeah, they're for hipsters.
Yeah, it's hipster.
RGT the third says, "Please tell MVG that I said hello, governor."
Hello, mate.
Willie says, y'all are infinite, but play COD more often."
Neither.
Break says, I was really impressed with all the 30-minute showcase we had this year. Devolver, Capcom, and Square came out with great stuff. Even the Overwatch 2 reveal event from Thursday was fantastic.
I agree. I liked it.
Ricky says, how long after its release do you guys think Starfield will be completed development-wise? Probably like 20 years. 'cause it'll
Probably
be
before Cyberpunk 2077 is.
No, because they're going to port that thing forever. Starfield. Let's see. Let me go to OJ Player Essence. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me right here on YouTube. Player Essence got a cool video talking about Square Enix and everything that went down probably tomorrow. So that should be fun. Got some top 10 videos that I'm doing as well. And I also stream daily, pretty much 6 days out of the week as well. And we run the Spawncast pre-show on the channel as well. So shout out to everybody who came through. We're having huge numbers. We're getting close to averaging 500 people plus per stream. So on those, so
nice.
Yeah, it's getting bigger and bigger each. It's getting more people are watching every single time. So, thanks for coming out to this show. I think I'm gonna stop right now. All right, guys, thanks. I appreciate it.
Let me go over here to MVG, but first off, T Soul says, "Can MVG say Monado boy like Metal Face?"
Monado boy.
Oh, come on.
Monado boy.
Whoa, hell yeah.
Where can everyone find you, MVG?
You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G and YouTube Modern Vintage Gamer. I'm doing a Steam Deck video for Monday because I've been messing around with one all week and I love it. And I will be gone the next 2 weeks. Yes, I am moving house, but I will be in a new place in 2 weeks. So I won't be on next week because too many games is on, so I won't be there for that. And then the following week I'll be off, but I will be back first week of July. So
we are going to pre-record our next weekend. So if you're around MVG, I'll just throw it out there too. Okay. If you're around, that's what we're going to do for next weekend. We're just going to do a pre-recorded video and just post it.
I may or may not be around, but
yeah,
really convenient.
He's moving. That's the reason you weren't at last Too Many Games, because you said you were moving. And then what'd you say after you said that to us? I'll be at next year's Too Many Games.
He did say that. He did say that.
He did.
Yeah, shit happens.
Very.
Miss Click, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. You can find me on YouTube as Misclick Gaming, or you can find me on Twitch as Misclick_live. Other than that, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter, where OJ's harassing me all the time as just Misclick. So, there's that. Thanks for that, man.
You set yourself up, Mrs. Dark Chocolate.
Not.
Let's go to Dreamcast guy.
Sorry.
I am youtube.com/Dreamcast guy. Giant thanks to all the massive love on the channel. Specifically, I did a video talking about the PlayStation Plus games and it just blew up for some reason. So thanks. I always see comments saying I found you from the Spawncast. So I cannot thank y'all enough.
Then let's go to Evan.
You can find me on Twitter at Kbrix Project. We got some miniature stuff to do this week, and I've been working with an airbrush. I noticed everyone's saying F in chat. We had a little hiccup, but we are back. So it's awesome. But yeah.
Right at the end. That's all right.
It's always good.
That's everything for Spawncast. Next,
I did not get an outro.
No, you didn't. Fuck you, Nate.
All right, Nate. Tell them where they can
In the show right now. To be the alpha male.
Find me on YouTube at Nate the Hate. MVG and I will be recording an episode tomorrow night for airing next week. We're giving Nintendo Direct predictions.
Why?
Predictions.
Is Nintendo Direct
Predictions.
Predictions. Emphasis on the word predictions.
So Banjo's going to be there, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Industry insider and game developer.
So everything you're going to say there is absolute fact and correct.
You know what? I'm going to watch the predictions you just put up with your Office Depot manager meeting.
Cracker Barrel. It has
Cracker Barrel.
double and double.
We're putting it on Gaming Leaks Reddit.
We're at least Target level over there, okay? Come on.
Target level.
Target.
No, you ain't at Target level.
No, they at least mop the floors at Target, all right? Come on.
I worked at Target. They do mop.
Okay, yeah. Next weekend it'll be a pre-recorded show, probably about an hour or so. It'll just post normal time, and it'll just be a VOD. People can watch when they would like to. Let me post up everywhere else as well. But thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will see you guys next weekend with a pre-record. The following weekend we'll be back live, maybe talking about Direct. We'll see.
Just sit right back
and he's pinning me to the wall using his lips.